Chapter 675. The Tragedy. And Jianghu Chapter 675. The Tragedy. Lin Yi didn't think much of it. He shrugged his shoulders. He had Guangbu's shares in his hands. He was already the second biggest shareholder of Pengzhan Industries. Pengzhan seemed to have thought of this as well. He felt a little embarrassed. He had neglected the fact that Lin Yi was also a shareholder. But thinking about it, Lin Yi really didn't lack his family's assets. However, seeing that Lin Yi didn't have any special expression, Pengzhan calmed down. Lin Yi didn't want to deal with these parents here. He just wanted to make sure that Meng Yao was fine. Then he said to Pengzhan, "Uncle Chu, I'll go out for a while. I'll come back after Grandpa Guan comes back." "Okay, go do what you need to do." Pengzhan nodded. Lin Yi planned to visit Tang Yun. After what happened today, Lin Yi felt that he had wronged Tang Yun. His relationship with the miss would become more and more complicated in the future. Meng Yao, on the other hand, looked at Lin Yi's back. She wanted to say something, but she didn't. Her face was still cold. At the entrance of Songshan's First People's Hospital, Jianghu, who had one of his kidneys removed, was sent to the emergency room. The hospital carried out emergency treatment on Jianghu and quickly called the police. The police had already informed the hospital that if they encountered any other victims who had their kidneys removed, they must first rescue them and then contact the police immediately. Ling Shan didn't expect that on the day the kidney trafficking organization was eliminated, there would still be another case of kidney removal. This meant that they were still committing crimes today. Ling Shan quickly sent Lu Wangli and the others to the hospital. On one hand, they were protecting the victims. On the other hand, they were preparing to collect evidence of the kidney trafficking organization. The victims were the most important witnesses. The interrogation at the police station wasn't difficult at all. As the leader of the organization, the tattooed man didn't put up much resistance. Very quickly, he confessed his crimes. The entire kidney trafficking organization was led by him, and Dr. Wang was forced by him to embark on the path of crime. This was also the promise he made to Dr. Wang. As for how to sell the kidney, the tattooed man had also provided the contact information of several black intermediaries in the city. Before he was caught, he had already called those black intermediaries to inform them. Now that they had all run away, it was impossible to catch them again. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. The tattooed man had also provided the contact information of several black intermediaries. Ling Shan couldn't do anything about the tattooed guy's cleverness and willingness to take responsibility for what he had done. She followed the tattooed guy's lead and found the black middlemen, but they were long gone. According to the tattooed man, they used fake names when they traded, and they had never really met each other. So the police couldn't find any useful clues at all. Although Ling Shan was angry, there was nothing she could do. Fortunately, the kidney trafficking organization's case was closed. As for those black intermediaries, they weren't in the city, so the police would deal with them. Ling Shan didn't want to cause trouble for herself. When Jianghu woke up, he realized that he was lying in a strange place. This place seemed to be a hospital ward. Immediately, he felt extreme pain on the left side of his waist. He wanted to reach out and touch it, but he didn't have any strength at all. The anesthesia had just worn off, but his strength hadn't recovered yet. "Where am I? Is anyone there?" Jianghu panicked and started yelling. The anesthesia had just worn off, and Jianghu's mind was still a little fuzzy. He couldn't remember what happened just now. "Sir, you're awake?" One of Lu Wangli's men called Zhang Juli walked over and said to Jianghu, "I'm Zhang Juli from the city's first criminal investigation team." I'm... Jianghu was startled. How did he get the police to come here? "Sir, I have to tell you a very unfortunate news. Your left kidney was cut off by a criminal organization." Zhang Juli looked at Jianghu sympathetically and said, "Wah!" Jianghu's eyes widened. What? His own kidney was cut off? How was that possible? The kidney trafficking organization was his. Who would dare to cut off his own kidney? Wait, Lin Yi. Jianghu suddenly thought of Lin Yi. He recalled the scene at that time. In the preparation room, Lin Yi suddenly woke up and knocked him out. Could it be that Dr. Wang didn't recognize him? Did he think that he was Lin Yi and cut off his kidney? Jianghu wanted to cry. What the hell was going on? His kidney was cut off. This was really a case of being smart for a lifetime but dumb for a moment. The head of the kidney trafficking organization had his kidney cut off. Wouldn't people laugh their teeth off if this news got out? Jianghu wanted to call the tattooed guy immediately to ask about the situation, but he couldn't do so since the police were here. Although he was anxious, he could only be patient and said, "Sir, what are you?" "I was sent by the captain to protect your safety," Jianghu said, "but don't worry, the kidney trafficking organization has been destroyed by the police. You are safe now." "What? Destroyed?" Jianghu suddenly felt dizzy. The kidney trafficking organization was destroyed? How was that possible? How could it be destroyed? "Sir, you don't have to be afraid." Jianghu thought that Jianghu was scared, so he quickly said, "From the looks of it, the main members of the organization have been arrested. However, in order to prevent the remaining members of the kidney trafficking organization from doing anything harmful to you, we will be at the hospital 24 hours to protect your safety." Jianghu rolled his eyes and fainted on the spot. His kidney was cut off and the kidney trafficking organization was destroyed. How could Jianghu not faint? "Sir, what's wrong?" Jianghu was shocked. He thought that Jianghu's body was weak. He quickly pressed the button to call the doctor and get the doctor to save Jianghu. Kong Mingming got to know Xianxia after the coincidental meeting at the bookstore. However, because of Lin Yi's appearance, he lost a lot of face. This made Kong Mingming very unhappy, but he couldn't do anything about it. This afternoon, Kong Mingming came to the Songshan First Hospital with a bouquet of flowers. However, he didn't go to Xianxia directly. Instead, he walked around the hospital a few times and let everyone see him. Even Xianxia, who was in the office, saw him. Only then did he create a coincidental meeting. "What a coincidence, Xianxia. You are here." Kong Mingming welcomed her with a smile. Chapter 676. Bad start. "Ha, yeah." Kong Mingming saw Xianxia's expression and knew that she misunderstood that he was going around the hospital to create a chance encounter. He quickly explained, "I'm here to visit a friend today. He's in the hospital but I couldn't find him. I called him just now and found out that he was discharged already. I was wondering why I couldn't find him." "Oh, I see. Then go visit your friend. I have to work." Xianxia clearly didn't want to talk to Kong Mingming anymore. "Yeah, I'm going now." "All right, take this bouquet of flowers. It's not convenient for me to bring them around." Kong Mingming handed the bouquet of flowers to Xianxia. "You're visiting a patient, buying roses?" Xianxia wasn't stupid. Why would she believe Kong Mingming's bullshit? Ha, it's a female patient." Kong Mingming blinked, but he reacted quickly and changed his words. "A female patient buying roses? Your girlfriend, right?" Xianxia smiled. "Ha!" Kong Mingming didn't expect Xianxia to be able to find flaws in his words despite her meek appearance. It was the same in the bookstore, and it was the same now. It seemed like this girl wasn't going to be easy to pick up. It was going to be difficult. "What girlfriend?" "She's my bro's girlfriend. I'm actually here on his behalf." Kong Xiaoming had an idea and said, Actually, it's like this. My bro got into a fight with his girlfriend, and she got so mad that she left the house. She stayed outside for a whole night and caught a cold. My bro wanted to apologize, but he couldn't let go of his pride, so he asked me to come and apologize on his behalf. I didn't think that the couple would have already made up when I called. I came here for nothing." Kong Xiaoming felt that the reason he came up with was very powerful. He was a genius. "Oh, since you don't need this flower anymore, I'll help you put it in the hospital vase." Xianxia knew that if she didn't accept the flowers, Kong Mingming wouldn't stop, so she took the roses from Kong Mingming and put them in a vase in the hallway. Kong Xiaoming saw that things had reached this point, and there was nothing he could do. He could only say bitterly, That's right, it's pretty here." "Xianxia, I'll be leaving now. Keep in touch." "Goodbye." Xianxia nodded and went back to her office. Xianxia felt that she shouldn't have gone to the washroom. She didn't want to meet Kong Xiaoming, this annoying person. Kong Mingming sighed. He felt like he should change his approach. Xianxia was different from the other girls. Based on Kong Xiaoming's previous experience, girls who had never had a boyfriend before were very innocent and easy to get. But with Xianxia, he ran into a wall. After Kong Mingming left, a nurse who was close to Guan Xian, Li Xiaomei, looked at the roses in the hallway and curled her lips. He's so rich. 99 roses, that's at least 300 kuai, and he just threw it away like that. It's his money, what does it have to do with us? Guan Xian smiled. Why do you like it? Introduce me to you? Forget it, even though I dream of finding a rich man, he's obviously not my type. He's a playboy, and he probably ditches women after he's done with them. How can I give myself to him? Li Xiaomei obviously didn't care about Kong Ming. Li Xiaomei knew her place. Even though she was pretty, there was still a huge gap between her and Guan Xian. She also knew that she wouldn't catch the eye of a rich man like Guan Xian. Instead of being played for free, she'd rather find a rich man who could support her for the rest of her life. Guan Xian didn't agree or disagree with Li Xiaomei's dream. Everyone had their own life, and Li Xiaomei's family wasn't well off. It was normal for her to want to find a rich man to support her for the rest of her life. If he wanted to find someone he truly loved, that was also his freedom. So, if even you can tell he's not a good person, then why should I still take his flowers? Guan Xian shook her head. All right, let's get back to work. You'll get scolded when the head nurse gets here. You're the daughter of a rich family. Who would dare scold you? Do you want to stay here or not? Li Xiaomei and Guan Xian were classmates when they were in school, so she knew a little about Guan Xian's family background. She knew that Guan Xian's father was a major shareholder of the hospital, and her grandfather was the famous miracle Dr. Guan. Haha, no one knows who I am, and even if they do, it's not like I'm special. Guan Xian said as she started to work, if you don't want your bonus, then go back to daydreaming. All right, I'm coming. Li Xiaomei quickly followed Guan Xian. Before I find a rich man, I still care about the bonus. Kong Ming gloomily walked out of the hospital and got into a Porsche Cayenne. His two lackeys, Zhu Xiaozhong and Wang Shubing, were in the car. Master Ming, how was it? Did you give the flowers away? Zhu Xiaozhong asked. Xiaozhong, aren't you asking a question you already know the answer to? Didn't you see that Master Ming came back empty-handed? He must have given them away. Wang Shubing said. Fuck, don't talk about it. Another fucking bad start. Kong Ming waved his hand in annoyance and sat in the front passenger seat. What's wrong, Master Ming? Your flowers. Zhu Xiaozhong saw Kong Ming was cursing, and he couldn't help but be stunned. I did give the flowers away, to the hospital. Kong Ming was very annoyed. This girl isn't easy to hook. She's a fucking smart person. She looks gentle and soft, but she's actually very smart. Damn, she sent me back. And the flowers were directly placed in the vase in the corridor of the hospital. Zhu Xiaozhong and Wang Shubing heard this and couldn't help but look at each other. Originally, they thought that if Kong Ming made a move, wouldn't it be a piece of cake? They didn't expect to have 2 consecutive bad starts. Next time, looks like we have to use a different method to get close to her. The current coincidental encounter is too low level. We can't fool her. Kong Ming waved his hand and said, let's think about it and see if there are any good ideas. Let's all brainstorm and come up with an idea. Didn't we use money to pick up girls in the past? Zhu Xiaozhong thought hard, but he couldn't come up with a good plan. He was usually very arrogant and straightforward, so there were a lot of gold diggers who fooled around with him. Chapter 677. Tank Top Bro this. Ming Bro, I have an idea. Wang Shubing, who had been quiet all this time, finally spoke, but I'm afraid that you'll have to suffer a bit. You have an idea? Hurry up and tell me. If it's really useful, I'm willing to suffer a bit. Although Kong Xiaoming didn't like to suffer, from his point of view, hitting on girls was to have fun. If he suffered, then how would he be able to hit on girls? Wasn't that just asking for trouble? He'd rather not hit on girls. He had plenty of targets anyway, and it wasn't like he didn't have any. But Guan Xian was different. Hitting on Guan Xian and getting the secret recipe from Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company was Kong Ming's current mission. Whether or not he could get a good position in the family depended on this one move. Although Xiaolong didn't show much hostility towards Kong Ming knew that if he kept being useless, Xiaolong wouldn't be nice to him after his grandpa died. Master Ming, think about it. Guan Xian is a nurse at Songshan Songshan First Hospital, right? Wang Shubing started to analyze. Isn't that obvious? Why are you asking when you already know the answer? Kong Mingming wasn't too happy. Of course she's a nurse at Songshan First Hospital. Didn't I tell you before? Young Master Ming, let me finish speaking. Wang Shubing said, Guan Xian is a nurse at Songshan First Hospital. Then tell me, who is the person she interacts with the most? Doctor? Kong Mingming thought about it and said, Damn, you're not thinking of making me a doctor, are you? I'm not interested in that. Young Master Ming, how can you become a doctor in one day? Wang Shubing smiled bitterly. This is a terrible idea, and it's not something that I, strategist Wang, would come up with. Then what do you mean? Kong Mingming relaxed when he heard that he wasn't going to be a doctor. Patients. Of course, nurses have the most contact with patients every day, so I want you to be the patient. Wang Shubing said. You want me to pretend to be sick and get close to Guan Xian? Kong Mingming's eyes lit up. This was a great idea. Why didn't he think of it before? If he became a patient, wouldn't he be able to interact with Guan Xian every day? You can't pretend to be sick. Like you said, Guan Xian isn't stupid. She'll be able to tell if you're pretending to be sick. Wang Shubing waved his hand and said, If you want to be sick, then you have to be really sick. This is why I said you have to suffer a little. Really sick. That's a good idea. Zhao Ming nodded. Then how do you think I should get sick? Well, normally, if you have a normal fever, you can stay in the hospital. As long as you're willing to pay, there's no reason for the hospital to refuse, right? Okay, then I'll have a fever and a cold. This is easier. Other diseases, even if I want to, are not easy to get. Kong Mingming also felt that the only way to get close to Guan Xian was if he stayed in the hospital. But it's not easy to catch a cold today, is it? Kong Mingming looked at the sunny sky outside the car window. The weather in April was already very hot. It didn't seem easy to catch a cold. That's why we have to suffer a little. Wang Shubing said, I know there's an ice hockey rink nearby. Master Ming, let's go sit there? Fine. Kong Mingming gritted his teeth. For the sake of picking up girls, for the sake of his family's status, he would endure it. He had to succeed this time. So what if he suffered a little? As a result, Kong Mingming and his team arrived at the ice hockey arena. Under everyone's astonished gaze, they walked into the ice rink. Zhu Xiaozhong and Wang Shubing both wore thick, warm ice hockey jerseys. Kong Mingming, on the other hand, wore a short-sleeved tank top and shorts. He gritted his teeth as he sat in the audience seats. Damn, a man. The people in the arena saw Kong Mingming's outfit and couldn't help but exclaim. Isn't he too awesome? He's a tank top bro. A girl took out her phone and was about to take a photo of Kong Mingming and post it on the internet. A new generation of bro was born. Kong Mingming was originally shivering in the cold, but hearing the people in the arena praise him, Kong Ming's vanity was immediately satisfied. He even did a pose with the girl who took the photo. Look at him, his body is so healthy. He's wearing a tank top and shorts here. A bespectacled man said enviously, We can't do it. Our bodies are weak after playing too much with women. We can't stand the cold. Kong Mingming was proud of himself. He thought to himself, I've played with a lot of women, but look at me, I'm a legend. Kong Mingming was feeling proud of himself. Suddenly, he felt a chill and couldn't help but sneeze. Ah! His mucus also sprayed out, smearing everywhere. It was sticky and disgusting. Fuck, he's not a tough guy, but a pretentious guy. I thought he wasn't cold. The person who sighed before couldn't help but despise Kong Mingming when he heard him sneeze. The expression of the young lady who was taking pictures with her phone suddenly became interesting. It seemed that tank top bro was going to become pretentious bro or pervert bro. As for the bespectacled man, he looked at Kong Mingming sympathetically and said, Bro, are you worse than me? I didn't even sneeze when I'm so weak. Aren't you too lame? Kong Mingming was instantly embarrassed and angry. His face turned red, but he couldn't refute. Zhu Xiaozhong, on the other hand, couldn't stand it anymore. He stood up and pointed at the people who were talking. He shouted arrogantly, What the fuck are you looking at? Have you never seen Cultivation before? Master Ming came here to cultivate. What do you people know? Cultivation? He came here to cultivate with mucus coming out of his nose? Was there something wrong with his brain? Those people shook their heads speechlessly and ignored Kong Ming Ming. Although Kong Ming Ming lost face, he thought of his plan to pick up girls. He had to persevere. He couldn't give up halfway. He had to cultivate until he caught a cold. Ah! Kong Ming Ming sneezed again. The media in Songshan, under the lead of the direwolf, was almost one-sided. They were all attacking Songshan's first school, describing it as the devil's first school. In fact, other than the interview with the direwolf, Chu Pingzhan and Ding Binggong didn't face any media again. Even if the media wanted to enter the emergency room, they wouldn't get permission from the hospital. So the latest development of the matter was unknown to the media. Chapter 678. Press conference. After all, the power of the media was terrifying. It could sway a lot of people who didn't know the truth, and these people would rather believe it than not. Since the school was so scary, who would dare to let their children continue to study here? However, at this critical moment, the CEO of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company, Lai Changyi, called for an emergency press conference. Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company had been the focus of the media and the public ever since it was established. Although the Miracle Dr. Guan Medical Company's Miracle Dr. Guan Injury Medicine wasn't officially on the market yet, the company's name was already very famous. There was no other reason. Although the news of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's outstanding performance at Yanjing's house use auction was only spread among the noble houses and wealthy merchants, the all-pervasive media quickly got wind of it and reported on Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company continuously. There was no lack of rumors, such as the fact that Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company had mastered the technology to bring the dead back to life. Of course, these were all derived from the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing. But Fatty Lai didn't go out to refute the rumors, because these reports were all rumors. With this hype, he didn't even need to advertise himself, and directly hyped up the name of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. So when Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company called for an emergency press conference, all the media in Songshan sent their reporters to the press conference as soon as they received the news. Although the media's attention was on the fainting incident of Songshan's first school, Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's press conference was also very important. The media that didn't take the lead in the fainting incident focused their attention on this press conference, hoping to get some first-hand information from the press conference. The press conference was held in Fatty Lai's newly built skyscraper, which would become the headquarters of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. The building and trading company downstairs were also contributed by Fatty Lai for free, and merged into Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. The construction company would be responsible for the construction of the factory, and the trading company would be responsible for the sales of the produced medicine. Fatty Lai's wife was a little reluctant to give away all of his assets, but Fatty Lai didn't care about his wife's opinion at all. From his perspective, his wife had long hair but short brains. How was this even possible? If he followed Lin Yi in the future, what else could he not want? Lin Yi's medical skills were superb. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that he could bring the dead back to life. As his follower, how could Fatty Lai not benefit from it? Fatty Lai felt a sense of satisfaction he had never felt before as he looked at the packed press area. Back when he was running his company, he'd probably have to bribe some reporters to attend his press conference, and the number was only a third of what it was now. But now, he didn't need to invest anything. All he needed to do was release a piece of news and these reporters came to him. It couldn't be helped. Miracle Dr. Guan's medicine company's product wasn't even on the market yet, but they already had a name. Thank you for joining the press conference of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. I am Lai Changyi. Fatty Lai walked up to the stage with a smile on his face. The main topic of this press conference is the mass coma incident in Songshan First School. If you are here for our company's new product, I'm afraid you will be disappointed. The reporters were stunned by Fatty Lai's words. Why was it Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's turn to hold a press conference for the fainting incident of the Songshan First School? Even if there was a press conference, it should be held by Songshan First School or Pengzhan Industries, right? Or it could be the police. But Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company was the only company that had nothing to do with this incident. Why would they hold a press conference to release news related to the fainting incident of the Songshan First School? No matter how they looked at it, the reporters found it strange. Although it was strange, they were still very excited. Not only were they not disappointed, they were glad that they came to the right place. Because the fainting incident of the Songshan First School was the headline of all the media, They were all trying to find out the truth behind the incident. Fatty Lie's press conference was related to this incident. How could they not be happy? First of all, I want to say that the rumors in the society are not true. What terrifying school's unknown virus base? It's all nonsense. Fatty Lie knew about the relationship between Lin Yi and Miss Chu, so he held this press conference not only to promote his miracle Dr. Guan's medical company, but also to restore the Songshan First School's reputation. Fatty Lie's words made the reporters below the stage blush with shame. They had also published reports like, terrifying campus biochemical base with unknown virus before, but they were just following the trend. Fatty Lie's denial of the news made the reporters perk up. After our miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's clinical research and analysis, we have found the cause of the fainting students. It's confirmed that it's caused by poison. Fatty Lie's words shocked all the reporters present. Didn't the hospital say that it wasn't poison? And they couldn't find the cause of the fainting? A reporter below the stage couldn't help but ask. Indeed, if we used normal methods, we wouldn't be able to find the cause of the fainting. Because the poison that these students were poisoned with is an extremely rare 1,000-year poison. Fatty Lie said, everyone knows that our miracle Dr. Guan's medical company is a company dedicated to medical research and development. Whether it's the researchability or the team of experts, they are all internationally advanced. Therefore, after the unremitting efforts of our team of experts, we finally analyzed that this 1,000-year-old poison is a kind of strong poison made from 7 kinds of Chinese herbs. It is called deadly 7 herbs poison, a kind of 1,000-year-old poison that has been lost for thousands of years. After this poison is consumed, it will be absorbed by the body quickly, and then it will destroy the body's physiological functions. If we don't treat them in time, they will die in at most 3 days. This poison is made from pure Chinese herbs. It's very difficult to detect it using normal chemical methods, so this is why the hospital didn't detect it before. Because the smell of many Chinese herbs is similar to seasoning, it won't arouse suspicion. Chapter 679. Fatty Lie seizes the opportunity. Deadly 7 herbs poison. Millennium poison. Can't detect it? It's similar to seasoning? The reporters gasped in shock. Fatty Lie's words were a little too inconceivable, and they couldn't accept it for a while. Wasn't this too unbelievable? He even brought out the 1,000-year poison? Are you serious? If it's a millennium poison, then why don't people know about it? How did you analyze it? A reporter began to ask questions. This reporter was in cahoots with Direwolf. He was Direwolf's underling. The Direwolf was busy following up on the fainting incident, and this press conference was attended by his follower. Haha, I've said it before, this millennium poison is lost, which means that no one knows the recipe. Only the main ingredients are recorded in ancient books. Fatty Lie started blabbering again. We analyzed the 7 herbs and compared them to the main ingredients, and finally confirmed that it's the lost deadly 7 herbs poison. Oh? Then what are the 7 herbs? If it's lost, then why would someone poison it? The follower didn't want the public's opinion to change, so he started asking sharp questions. I'm sorry, but we can't provide the recipe. First, it involves the company's confidentiality, and second, if we announce the recipe, what if someone with bad intentions uses it? Fatty Lie smiled. But we've already submitted the recipe to the Songshan police. As for why someone would poison it after it's lost, that's for the police to investigate. We're just a medical company, and this isn't our business scope. Fatty Lie's words made the reporters below the stage burst into laughter, but the Direwolf follower was furious. He panicked. Don't tell me that you made up a poison just to get famous? Saying that it's a millennium poison is just an excuse for Songshan's First School, and also for your own fame. Can you cure this millennium poison? If you can't cure it, then what's the point of making the recipe? Who knows if it's real or fake? Although the words of Deadly Wolf's underling were impolite, he also asked the question in the minds of many reporters present. In fact, they also had doubts about the authenticity of this deadly 7 herbs poison. After all, this matter was somewhat unbelievable. It was beyond the normal acceptable range. The 1,000-year-old poison was a bit too far away from real life. Therefore, although the question of crippled wolf's underling was a bit impolite, it did represent the thoughts of some people. Haha, since it's a millennium poison, and the recipe has been lost, how could there be an antidote? Fatty Lie smiled, pausing on purpose. If that's the case, Then you admit that you're using this opportunity to create hype? The follower's eyes lit up as he continued. I didn't say that. I'm just saying that since there's no poison recipe in the ancient books, naturally, there's no antidote recipe. Fatty Lai made a calming expression and continued. But, although we don't have the antidote formula right now, the experts of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company have worked tirelessly, and after many experiments, we finally created an antidote to the deadly 7 herbs poison. Right now, the factory is working overtime to create the antidote. We'll be able to mass-produce it tomorrow morning and use it on the fainted students. Even the follower and all the reporters were in an uproar. They really made an antidote? They weren't trying to create hype? The strange coma that even the hospital couldn't do anything about was diagnosed as a 1,000-year poison by Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. Not only that, they even created an antidote for it. This Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company was, just as the rumors said, too magical. Of course, this antidote isn't our company's product. It's specially made for this poisoning incident, and we're not going to charge a single cent for it. Fatty Lai said, we're giving it to the unconscious students for free. This is also the social responsibility of every medical company. Earning money is secondary. Saving lives is the first priority. Fatty Lai's words made the reporters on the scene respectful. This was really a kind medical company. If it was some other black-hearted company, not only would they not give it for free, but they would also raise the price. If they sold this batch of antidote to Pengzhan Industries, they would be able to sell it for a sky-high price. Everyone knew that if this incident couldn't be resolved, the biggest impact would be on Pengzhan Industries' first high school. And if Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company used this opportunity to raise the price of the antidote, it wouldn't be hard for them to get a huge profit. Next, I'll announce our new product, Miracle Dr. Guan's injury medicine's effects and release date. After the poisoning incident, Fatty Lai naturally took the opportunity to promote his company's product. The reporters listened carefully to Fatty Lai's introduction, and they were prepared to report this incident when they got back. After the press conference of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company, the situation changed drastically. The previous direction of public opinion began to change. While the media was ready to condemn the culprit, they were also full of sympathy for the first high school, and at the same time, they gave high praise to Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. Even Ken Lang couldn't do anything about it. Although he accepted Seely's money, he couldn't go against the current, could he? Now that the truth was out, and everyone was condemning the culprit and praising Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company, Ken Lang couldn't continue to attack the first high school, could he? Even the chief editor of the newspaper asked him to draft an article to refute the previous article, denounce the culprit, and praise Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. After all, he couldn't possibly go against the mainstream media, could he? Ken Lang had no choice but to call Zihua. Zihua bro, it's me, Ken Lang. Zihua bro, I'm Crippled Wolf. Ken Lang said with a guilty conscience. I tried my best to smear the name of Songshan First School and Pengzhan Industries, but I couldn't do anything about it. That Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company is too powerful. They actually found out the reason why the students were in a coma. They said that they were poisoned by some deadly 7 herbs poison and even made the antidote. I can't lie through my teeth anymore. What? Zihua was shocked after hearing the words. What did you say? Did Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company find out why the students were unconscious? You even concocted an antidote? Chapter 680. Recovering, here's the money. Zihua didn't have the time to waste with Direwolf. He slammed his phone to the side and rushed to find Master Bing. He had to tell Master Bing this news as soon as possible. The news had spread in the media world, but normal people didn't know about it yet. Because the media needed time to write and publish the news, they were only in the preparation stage and hadn't released the news yet. The TV stations were also working overtime to edit the news and get ready to broadcast it as soon as possible. Zihua stumbled into Master Bing's room. Master Bing, it's bad, our plan failed. Master Bing was reading a novel written by Fishman 2, very pure, very flirtatious prequel on his phone. It was a very enjoyable urban novel. He was imagining himself as the main character and was torturing the supporting characters when he was interrupted by Zihua. He was annoyed. What are you screaming for? What plan failed? Master Bing, Direwolf just called and said that Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company has found the cause of the student's coma. It's poisoning, and they've even found the poison. It's deadly 7 herbs poison, and they've made an antidote. Sihua said in a panic. Impossible. Yao Wang spoke before Master Bing could say anything. Deadly 7 herbs poison is an ancient poison, and there's no antidote. Even I don't know what the antidote is. How could they have the antidote? I don't know either. Dire Wolf just gave me the news. Sihua was just passing on Dire Wolf's message. Turn on the TV and see. If it's true, there'll be news on the TV. Master Bing frowned. He had heard of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company before. It was a newly established company that was in the limelight at House Yu's auction. Could they have made an antidote? Otherwise, how would they know the poison was called Deadly 7 Herbs Poison? Sihua heard Master Bing's words and quickly turned on the TV. It was broadcasting the news of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's press conference. Everyone in the room was stunned when they saw Fatty lie on the stage talking leisurely. Master Bing gritted his teeth in anger. He was overjoyed when he heard that Meng Yao was poisoned as well. But in the blink of an eye, the Miracle Dr. Guan's medicine company solved the problem and even created the antidote. Impossible, impossible. The Yao Wang's eyes widened. With a look of disbelief on his face, he said, "This is a 1,000-year-old poison. There's no antidote for it. Even if they know about this poison, it's impossible for them to concoct an antidote in such a short period of time. Not even that person." The person the Medicine King was talking about was someone who had completely defeated him. He was his nightmare, but even that person couldn't create an antidote in such a short period of time. This was absolutely impossible. However, the truth was right in front of him. Yao Wang had no choice but to believe it. After all, the TV news wouldn't simply report it. If the Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company didn't create an antidote and instead said that they did, it would be a huge blow to the company once this matter was exposed. This was fatal to a newly established company. Master Bing heard Yao Wang keep saying that it was impossible and he was annoyed. He frowned and said, "All right, since it doesn't work this time, we'll think of another way." Master Bing didn't expect Yao Wang to be so weak despite looking so powerful. He couldn't take a blow like this. His Qibing skyscraper had collapsed, but he didn't give up. He was still thinking of ways to deal with Lin Yi. Of course, Master Bing thought this way because he didn't understand the power of the Deadly 7 Herbs poison. Only Yao Wang himself knew how terrifying and powerful the Deadly 7 Herbs poison was. He thought that this poison would work because even he didn't have an antidote for this poison, let alone those normal hospitals. He didn't think that the Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company could create an antidote for the Deadly 7 Herbs poison. He didn't believe it, but the truth forced him to believe it. After all, the other party did find out why the students were in a coma and pointed out the name of the Deadly 7 Herbs poison. In other words, the other party had a certain level of understanding towards this poison. The antidote was also real. Otherwise, no company would risk their future. The antidote had nothing to do with Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. If they couldn't do it, why would they take this job? It seemed like the other party's medical skills weren't weak. Miracle Dr. Guan Xueming. In the past, Yao Wang didn't put Guan Xueming in his eyes at all. Although he was called Miracle Doctor by the 4 big and 5 small houses, the hidden houses all had their own doctors. Yao Wang was one of House Zhao's doctors. But now, Yao Wang had to take Guan Xueming seriously. It seemed like he really had some skills. Guan Xueming. I'll remember you. I'll compete with you. When the news was broadcasted, Gao Xiaofu also knew about it. He was also dismissed from school and went home. After returning home, Gao Xiaofu was scared and excited at the same time. It was the excitement of doing something bad. It was the first time he did something so bad. He poisoned others. When he saw the ambulance send the 28 students out of the school and the hospital give them a notice of critical condition, he felt an indescribable sense of joy. But after that, he was deeply worried. After all, those were 28 lives. If they died just like that, he would be the murderer. Before, the hospital couldn't find any reason. Gao Xiaofu let out a sigh of relief. Although he was the one who poisoned the students, there was no evidence. Even the hospital couldn't give an answer. He was afraid that the case would be left unsettled. But not long after, there was a company called Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company that held a press conference. Not only did they find out the reason why the students were in a coma, but they also gave the prescription of the Deadly 7 Herbs poison to the police. This meant that the police would start their investigation soon, and if they found out about the food in the cafeteria, they would easily suspect Pin Liang and himself. Gao Xiaofu was really anxious now. He quickly picked up his phone and dialed Zhong Pingliang's number. He had to discuss a plan with Zhong Pingliang. They couldn't wait for the police to come to their door, could they? Zhong Pingliang just had a kidney transplant. He was lying in the hospital happily, enjoying the sunlight outside the window. He felt that life was beautiful. Having a kidney was good. He felt that he had regained his confidence as a man. Chapter 681. The poisoning was exposed. Pin Liang picked up the phone. Xiaofu, I have good news for you. My kidney transplant was successful, and I'm about to regain my confidence as a man. Liang bro, I have bad news for you. Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company found out about our poisoning and they reported it to the police. Do you think the police will find us? Xiaofu didn't even have time to congratulate Pin Liang as his heart was filled with deep fear. What? They found out so quickly? No way. Pin Liang was shocked as he didn't expect them to act so quickly. Didn't they say that deadly 7 herbs poison was some ancient poison that no one could cure? It seemed like Master Bing's Yaowang wasn't very reliable either. Yeah, Liang bro, what should we do? I don't want to go to jail. I'm still quite young. Xiaofu heard Pin Liang's nervous voice and became even more afraid. It's fine, Xiaofu, I'll ask my dad right now. Master Bing already found a scapegoat for us. Even if something happens, you won't be implicated. I'll take it all on my own. Pin Liang comforted Gao Xiaofu. That's good, that's good. Xiaofu heard Pin Liang's words and sighed in relief. Then I don't have to do anything? If the police ask me, I'll just say that I don't know? You don't have to say anything. If they want to ask, let them ask me. Just pretend that it has nothing to do with you. Pin Liang said. Okay, I understand. Xiaofu said gratefully. Liang bro was a good man. He didn't shirk responsibility when something happened. Pin Liang hung up the phone and called his father over. Fabai was just outside the ward. He had just turned on the TV and saw the news about the mass coma in Songshan's first school. He was looking at it when Pin Liang called him in. Dad, the poisoning was exposed. Hurry up and call Master Bing. Don't drag me into it. Pin Liang would be lying if he said he wasn't worried. He was afraid of going to jail. He just got a good kidney and he didn't even have time to enjoy life. He didn't want it to be ruined in jail. Xiaofu just called and said that some miracle Dr. Guan medical company found the reason for the student's coma and told the police. I'm also watching this news. Fabai nodded and said solemnly, I'll call Master Bing now. Although he has already arranged it, I still need to confirm it. Okay, Dad, don't make a mistake. I don't want to go to jail. Pin Liang reminded. No way, why would I let you go to jail? Fabai said with a wave of his hand as he dialed Zihua's number. Old Zhong, right? Zihua answered Fabai's call. He had a rough idea of why Zhong Fabai was calling him, so he didn't wait for him to speak. I'll arrange for someone to turn himself in to the police station right now. If the police come looking for Pin Liang, just tell Pin Liang to say this. Master Bing will take care of the rest for you. Zihua told Fabai what Pin Liang needed to say, and Fabai calmed down after listening to Zihua. With the prescription of the deadly 7 herbs poison provided by Miracle Dr. Guan Medical Company, the police quickly found the content of the 7 herbs in the food. The person who poisoned the food was very smart. He only used one type of herb in each dish, and the herbs alone were not poisonous. In fact, when a few herbs were mixed together, they could even strengthen yang and nourish the kidneys. However, when these 7 herbs were mixed together, they could produce a deadly poison. This was also the reason why only a small number of students were poisoned. After all, there were very few students who ordered all 7 dishes and ate all of them. The rest of the students who only ate a few of the herbs would not be poisoned. After finding the source of the poison, the police sent people to the school cafeteria to investigate. Without any suspense, the suspects were Zhong Pinliang and Gao Xiaofu, who came to the cafeteria earlier in the afternoon. According to the cafeteria chef, only Zhong Pinliang and Gao Xiaofu touched the food in the kitchen alone. Other than them, no one else touched the food. After eliminating the possibility of the chef's motive, the police locked their targets on Zhong Pinliang and Gao Xiaofu. Zhong Pinliang didn't expect the police to react so quickly. Gao Xiaofu hadn't hung up for long and the police already came to his door. Hello, I'm the captain of Songshan's criminal investigation team, Lu Wangli. This is my ID. Lu Wangli arrived quickly and the person who received him was Zhong Pinliang's father, Zhong Fabai. Hello, Officer Lu, you're finally here. That's great. Zhong Fabai quickly shook Lu Wangli's hand enthusiastically. Lu Wangli was stunned. He didn't understand why Zhong Fabai was so enthusiastic. He was here to arrest his son, okay? Mr. Zhong, why did you look forward to my arrival? Lu Wangli asked curiously. Yes, my son Pinliang. Ever since he was harmed by the kidney trafficking organization and had one of his kidneys removed, he became absent-minded and had low self-esteem. I wanted to call the police but he wouldn't agree no matter what. He was afraid that the criminals would take revenge on him after I called the police. Zhong Fabai sighed and said with pity, I really feel sorry for my son. Since you're here, please persuade Pinliang to cooperate with you and bring the criminals to justice. Huh. Lu Wangli heard Zhong Fabai's words and was shocked speechless. He never thought that Zhong Pinliang was also a victim of the kidney trafficking organization. It seemed like things weren't as simple as he thought. Could it be that there was something else? He decided to talk to Zhong Pinliang and said, Is that so? Where is Zhong Pinliang now? He's in the ward inside. He said that he was mocked and looked down on by his classmates in school. They said that he lost one of his kidneys and is no longer a real man. They said that he's a eunuch. Zhong Fabai sighed again. They even mocked him and said that he sold his kidney to buy an iPad. Officer Lu, with our family's financial situation, do we still need to sell our kidney? I, Zhong Fabai, may not be rich but I'm the boss of an entertainment city, right? Can't I afford an iPad? Chapter 682. Deceiving the Heavens. Well, I haven't finished speaking yet. He's being ridiculed in school. I don't think it's okay. If this continues, Pinliang will become a mental patient. What if he does something I'll regret? I only have one son. Fabai said, so I contacted a black intermediary and bought another kidney for Pinliang. I just finished the kidney transplant and he's resting inside right now. Bought him another kidney? Just finished the surgery? Lu Wangli was even more shocked. Pinliang was poisoned and now he had a surgery? What kind of speed was that? I know that it's illegal to buy and sell kidneys through illegal agents, but you can understand me. I pity all parents. Fabai sighed, if you want to punish someone, punish me. You can't let Pinliang return the kidney. He can't afford it. He just regained his confidence as a man and wants to live again. Don't ruin his life. Lu Wangli was even more confused. Why did it sound so strange? Was Pinliang the one who poisoned Pinliang? I'll pretend that I don't know anything about this black agent, but I have something else I want to ask Zhong Pinliang. Can I talk to him alone? Lu Wangli asked. As for Fabai buying a kidney from an illegal agent, it was already given to Pinliang. There was no point in pursuing the matter. Pinliang was also a victim. Yes, of course. Help me persuade him again. Let him regain his confidence and go to school. Fabai said. Lu Wangli nodded and walked into the ward. He saw Pinliang lying on the bed. Pinliang naturally saw Lu Wangli in his police uniform. He hesitated slightly and said with a depressed expression, Hello, officer. If you are here to collect evidence for the kidney trafficking company, I don't want to go. I don't want to embarrass myself anymore. I've had enough. I don't want the kidney trafficking company to take revenge on me. But if you want to ask about the coma incident in school, I can be honest with you. I did it, but it wasn't my intention. It really wasn't. I didn't think that there would be such serious consequences. Lu Wangli was stunned by Pinliang's straightforwardness. He didn't think that Pinliang would be so honest the moment he stepped into the room. From the looks of it, he must have suffered a huge psychological burden before. That's why he confessed the problem so frankly after I came. Lu Wangli didn't use any of his psychological tactics, but the more he thought about it, the more Lu Wangli felt that there was more to this than met the eye. Out of sympathy for Pinliang, the victim, Lu Wangli didn't want a high school student to become a prisoner. Perhaps there was something going on? According to him, this wasn't his original intention. What could it be? Zhong Pinliang, I don't know what your intentions were, but now that you've admitted that you poisoned the cafeteria, do you know the consequences you'll have to bear? Intentional murder is not a small crime. Lu Wangli said with a serious expression. I didn't know it was poison. I really didn't know. I didn't want this to happen. I'm sorry. Pin Liang clutched at his hair painfully. You didn't know it was poison? Then why don't you tell me what happened? Lu Wangli frowned and asked. But if I tell you, you'll arrest my relative. I didn't know he gave me poison. Pin Liang looked like he was in a difficult position, but in fact, he said all the important clues. Lu Wangli's eyes lit up. There was more to this. That meant that Pin Liang wasn't the mastermind, and according to the current situation, he was also a victim? So Lu Wangli said, Zhong Pingliang, you have to tell the truth now. Otherwise, you'll be taking the blame for someone else, you know? If this matter really has nothing to do with you, considering that it's your first offense and that you're a patient now, you can atone for your crimes with good deeds. You can be given a lighter punishment or even be exempted from punishment. Sigh. Pin Liang sighed and hesitated for a while. If you don't punish me, will you punish my relative? Will he be sentenced to death? If it really has nothing to do with you, your responsibility can be lightened or even exempted. But if your relative is the mastermind, then his crime will be heavy. As for whether he will be sentenced to death or not, it depends on his attitude of admitting his mistake and his motive. Of course, it still depends on the court's decision. Lu Wangli said. All right, you can find out even if I don't tell you. Pin Liang nodded and began to explain. Actually, this is what happened. I have to start from when my kidney was cut off. After my kidney was cut off, my classmates all laughed at me and looked at me weirdly. Some of them even said that I'm not a complete man anymore, that I'm a eunuch. Some even mocked me and said that I sold my kidney to buy an iPad. This made me lose all my face. I hate them. These people are too evil. They don't understand the pain in my heart. They don't know how inferior I feel. I hate them. And then, Lu Wangli nodded. He started to sympathize with Zhong Pingliang. He had already lost a kidney, and he was still being laughed at. No one would be able to take it. A while ago, I even paid for everyone to go to the beach, and what did they do to me? They mocked me and I hate them. I want to take revenge. Pin Liang couldn't hold back the anger in his eyes. Continue. How do you want to take revenge on them? Lu Wangli thought. Was this Pin Liang's motive for poisoning his kidney? I didn't know how to take revenge on them. At that time, a relative of mine came to visit me. I told him my idea. He said that he would help me come up with an idea. He said that he would take care of it all. So he helped me come up with a plan to trick them. He asked me to put laxatives in the food in the cafeteria. That way, when they go to the toilet during class, the school's toilets will be full and they will shit their pants. That way, they will lose all their face. They will know how painful it is to be mocked. I can laugh at them as much as I want. Laxatives. Lu Wangli frowned. If Pin Liang only put laxatives in the food, it wouldn't be considered a crime. As long as there weren't any serious consequences, it was just a prank. Chapter 683. Surrendering. I just wanted to teach them a lesson. I didn't want to send them to the hospital. The relative who gave me the idea was in the medical business, so I asked him to buy some laxatives for me. The laxatives he bought for you are the poison you put in the cafeteria? Lu Wangli nodded and continued asking. Yes, but he didn't say it was a poison, just a laxative. Pin Liang said. He said that the laxative was made up of 7 herbs, and the side effects were minimal, but it'd be a huge problem if everyone in the school got diarrhea. He said that only a few of the 7 herbs would cause diarrhea, and the effects would be different depending on the type of herb taken. That way, no one would suspect anything. Pin Liang said. That's right. Pin Liang. Lu Wangli nodded. If what Zhong Pingliang said was true, then he might have been used by his relative. After all, the idea and the laxatives were all provided by his relative. Zhong Pingliang was just a person who was tricked into carrying out the plan. From the fact that the relative gave Zhong Pingliang 7 herbs, it could be seen that the relative definitely didn't mistake the other herbs for laxatives. This kind of concoction was done deliberately and meticulously. And this Zhong Pingliang was really dumb. He just did what someone told him to do and he took it seriously? What's your relative's name? Lu Wangli asked. Jin Maoxing, a distant relative of my uncle, Jin Gubong, Zhong Pingliang said. Lu Wangli nodded. Just as he was about to say something, the phone rang. Lu Wangli took it out and saw that it was a call from the team, so he quickly picked up the phone. I'm Lu Wangli, please speak. Captain Lu, a person called Jean Maoxing came to the police station to surrender. He said that he was the mastermind of the Songshan cafeteria poisoning case. The call was from one of Lu Wangli's subordinates. Oh, okay, I'll go right now. Lu Wangli thought to himself that this was really a coincidence. He had just gotten the name of the criminal suspect, and the other party had already surrendered. But this way, Lu Wangli didn't doubt Zhong Pingliang's words anymore. After hanging up, Lu Wangli turned to Zhong Pingliang. Zhong Pingliang, although you're a victim in this case, you're still responsible for it. Please don't leave Songshan for now until the case is over. All right. Pingliang nodded. I'll be staying in the hospital for a while, I won't wander around. You don't have to be afraid now. The kidney trafficking organization has been wiped out by the police, so you don't have to feel any psychological burden. Lu Wangli said, we hope that you can be a witness for the police. When the time comes, we can accuse the kidney trafficking organization. Ah, the kidney trafficking organization has been wiped out? Pingliang was shocked. He'd just gotten a kidney transplant at noon. How did he get wiped out so quickly? Wasn't this speed a little too fast? Yes, the kidney trafficking organization's headquarters has been uprooted. Of course, if you're worried that the kidney trafficking organization will take revenge on you, we can send some police to protect you while you're in the hospital. Lu Wangli said. Pingliang said that he didn't want to testify because he was afraid of losing face and revenge. It was all bullshit to confuse Lu Wangli. But now that he heard that the kidney trafficking organization had been wiped out, Pingliang was tempted. Did Jiang Wen get arrested? Pingliang still hated Jiang Wen. After all, he was the culprit who cut off his kidney. As for Lin Yi, Pingliang didn't hate him anymore. He'd already given Lin Yi's kidney to himself. Why would he hate Lin Yi? He should pity him instead. A great master in the Lin family had lost a kidney. It would be a joke if people heard about it. He heard from Heibao Bro that Lin Yi was also a golden class master. If he got a golden class master's kidney, would he have the strength of a golden class master? He didn't need all of it, just half would be enough. Pingliang fantasized about a wonderful life where he could dominate the world, planning to test out his strength after he recovered from his illness. So when he heard that the kidney trafficking organization had been wiped out, Pingliang was actually very happy after the shock. He couldn't do anything to Jiang Wen, but the police could. Now that he had a kidney, he didn't need anything from Jiang Wen anymore. If it was destroyed, then so be it. Is that so? If I'm a witness, then wouldn't I be able to atone for my crime? Pingliang pretended to be hesitant as he asked. Of course. After all, we need to consider your final punishment, Lu Wangli said. All right, I'll testify. Pingliang nodded. But you have to protect me. I don't want the kidney trafficking organization to take revenge on me. Don't worry about that. We will definitely consider the witnesses' safety. Lu Wangli nodded. Pingliang was feeling great. Not only was he fine after poisoning the kidney, he even had the police to protect him. He was too awesome. If Lin Yi saw this, Lin Yi would probably die from anger. Wah! After Lu Wangli left, Zhong Fabai quickly walked into Pingliang's ward. Pingliang, how is it? Is there any problem? It's fine. My acting skills are pretty good. Pingliang said proudly. That Lu Wangli seemed to sympathize with me. He told me that I was tricked. Now that I'm atoning for my crime, there shouldn't be any problem. That's good. Fabai nodded. Everything has been arranged for your uncle Jin Gubong's relative. Master Bing gave his family 3 million as a settlement allowance. His wife died early, and he had 2 sons. He was worried that he wouldn't have enough money to arrange a wedding for them. Now that he has everything, he's overjoyed. He said that it was worth it even if he died. Right, Dad, I heard from Lu Wangli that the police wiped out the kidney trafficking organization. Pingliang lowered his voice. Say, I just got a kidney transplant this afternoon. Why did the police wipe them out so quickly? Did they wipe out Jiang Wen's headquarters? No way. So fast. That Jiang Wen is really unlucky. Fabai said with an indescribable joy in his heart. His son's kidney was removed. It wasn't as simple as returning one back. Now that his headquarters was wiped out, it was his punishment. But God bless House Zhong. They were wiped out right after you got a kidney transplant. You're really lucky. Chapter 684. Motive, haha, that's true. Fabai thought about it carefully and it was true. It seemed like House Zhong was going to prosper. Thus, the father and son laughed happily in the ward. After laughing for a while, Zhong Pingliang felt that something was wrong and quickly said, "Dad, don't laugh. Lu Wangli said that he would send police to protect me. Don't let them see anything wrong." Fabai's smile stopped abruptly. He almost choked to death. After a while he said, "Why didn't you say so earlier?" Jean Maoxing had rehearsed many times, so when he arrived at the police station, he was familiar with the process and directly confessed the problem. As for why he surrendered, it was because he watched the TV and couldn't take the pressure anymore. His motive was actually very simple. It was a spur-of-the-moment idea. After listening to Zhong Pingliang's confession, he came up with this revenge plan on the spur of the moment. And the reason why he wanted revenge was because of something that happened a year ago. A year ago, Jean Maoxing's family was very poor. He raised 2 children alone. The money he earned from selling herbs was not enough at all. His daily expenses were enough, but he still had to find wives for his 2 sons, right? Without a house and a car, who would follow you? So, Jean Maoxing's mind became active. He wanted to do something himself, so he found his distant relative, Jean Gubong, and asked him to think of a way to help him. He contracted the cafeteria of E High School, which solved the urgent problem. The cafeteria was a money-making job. If it was done well, it wouldn't be a problem to make a few $100,000 a year. Jean Maoxing thought that contracting a cafeteria shouldn't be difficult for Jean Gubong, the second largest shareholder of Pengzhan Industries. In fact, Jean Gubong didn't think it was difficult. Although he was a distant relative, they were still relatives with the same surname. If he could help, he would. It didn't take much effort. It was just a matter of moving his lips. However, he didn't expect that when Jean Gubong raised the suggestion at the board meeting, it was rejected by Pengzhan. The reason was very simple. The cafeteria of E High School had to be self-operated. This way, the freshness of the ingredients could be guaranteed, and it could also generate a lot of income for the school. Why not? Gubong was humiliated, and he hated Pengzhan to the core. However, he had always been planning to replace Pengzhan, so he didn't show it, only telling Jean Maoxing what Pengzhan had said. Jean Maoxing failed to contract the cafeteria, and he hated Pengzhan to the core. It wasn't like Pengzhan didn't want to pay the contract fee. They were self-employed, and they wouldn't earn much more than Pengzhan, so why couldn't he contract it? It wasn't like he had nothing to do with it. However, because Jean Gubong was still a shareholder of the group, although Jean Maoxing was unhappy, he did not do anything else. In the blink of an eye, a year had passed. Zhong Pingliang's confession reminded Jean Maoxing of the hatred from a year ago. Now that Jean Gubong was no longer the chairman of the group, whatever Jean Maoxing did wouldn't affect Jean Gubong anymore. Originally, he was angry because he failed to contract the cafeteria, so Jean Maoxing also set his sights on the school cafeteria. Aren't you self-employed? Then I'll let something happen to you. Let's see what the consequences of self-employment are. Of course, when Jean Maoxing did this, he also considered the consequences. However, he remembered that the poison he used was learned from an old traditional Chinese medicine doctor when he was traveling in Jianghu to collect medicine. It was an ancient prescription that had been lost, and the concoction was complicated. It required 7 herbs to be present at the same time for the poison to be poisoned. The hospital and the police shouldn't be able to find such a special poison, so in the end, he could only let it go. However, he didn't expect that miracle Dr. Guan's medical company actually found it, and they even gave the poison formula to the police. This made Jean Maoxing unable to sit still. He couldn't withstand the pressure, so he came to the police station to surrender. What Jean Maoxing said was reasonable, and the reason for the crime was sufficient. The remaining 7 herbs were also found in his house, which allowed the police to close the case very quickly. As for Zhong Pingliang, Jean Maoxing also made it very clear that he was just using him. It had nothing much to do with Zhong Pingliang. He would take responsibility for what he did, so he didn't want to punish Zhong Pingliang. Lu Wangli was originally full of sympathy for Zhong Pingliang. After a meeting and discussion, since Zhong Pingliang was a victim of the kidney trafficking company, the city was now weakening the influence of the kidney trafficking company on the people. It was not appropriate to publicize Zhong Pingliang's matter too openly. Zhong Pingliang was also bewitched by Jin Maoxing and was deceived by Jin Maoxing. He was also a victim, so he was exempted from criminal punishment, but he still needed to be criticized and educated. However, they didn't know if all the remaining members of the kidney trafficking company were caught. As a victim of the kidney trafficking company, the police still gave Zhong Pingliang the necessary protection measures while he was in the hospital. There were police officers guarding near Zhong Pingliang's ward 24 hours a day. The police needed the victim to testify in court against the crime of the criminal group and Zhong Pingliang. However, after the incident, Lu Wangli called Ding Binggong and talked about Zhong Pingliang's matter alone. Principal Ding. This student Zhong Pingliang is actually very pitiful. One of his kidneys was cut off. It's already tragic enough, and the students are laughing at him. This is not good for his psychological growth. Lu Wangli said, I suggest the school to organize a charity activity and visit Zhong Pingliang in the hospital together. Lu Wangli was doing his best for Zhong Pingliang. In order to prevent his psychological growth from being distorted, he made such a suggestion to the school. Ding Binggong naturally agreed immediately. After all, although the students' academic results were important, the students' psychological quality couldn't be ignored. Thus, the incident of the first high school students fainting together was considered to have temporarily come to an end. The first high school's reputation was basically restored, and they were just waiting for the police to hold a press conference to announce the truth of the matter. As for Tang Yun calling Lin Yi and asking Lin Yi to save his love rival, Lu Xinwen and Kong Xiaobo were helpless. Since Tang Yun was willing, what else could they say? There was nothing going on in the afternoon, so Kong Mingming decided to bring Xiaofan to the hospital for a follow-up. Xiaofan's schizophrenia was obviously much better after a period of treatment. Ever since she met Kong Mingming, Xiaofan had completely lost confidence in Kong Mingming and removed his name from her heart. This was also what Kong Xiaobo was happy to see. Otherwise, Kong Xiaobo would always feel that he was a substitute for Kong Mingming. Chapter 685. Translator, Exodus Tales Editor. Exodus Tales. However, the doctors in the hospital had made it clear that Xiaofan's schizophrenia was mainly caused by her mental illness. She could only be cured by undoing the knot in her heart. The hospital could only control the madness during the illness, and the treatment wouldn't be effective. Kong Xiaobo's appearance gave Xiaofan's parents hope, but they were still worried. Although Kong Xiaobo liked their daughter, would Kong Xiaobo's parents be able to accept their daughter? Of course, everything would be fine if their daughter wasn't in trouble. Although their family wasn't rich, their daughter was beautiful. Kong Xiaobo's family wasn't rich either, so they could be considered a perfect match for each other. But now, not only did their daughter become a broken flower, she even had problems with her legs. Her mental health was better, but she still had a history of mental illness. Although this kind of mental illness formed from emotional trauma wouldn't be inherited, Kong Xiaobo's family might not think so. What if they objected? So, Xiaofan's family was worried, but there was nothing they could do. They could only hope that Kong Xiaobo could deal with it. However, Xiaofan's parents never expected that Kong Xiaobo would bring Xiaofan to Dr. Kang's birthday banquet. Not only did she meet Kong Mingming, but she also met Kong Xiaobo's parents. This put Xiaofan's parents in a perturbed mood. They were afraid that Kong Xiaobo's parents would come looking for them. They were afraid that Kong Xiaobo's parents would separate the two children. But after waiting for a few days, Kong Xiaobo's parents didn't come looking for them. On the contrary, Kong Xiaobo was still the same as before, visiting Xiaofan frequently. This made Xiaofan's parents feel relieved, and at the same time, they were deeply grateful to Kong Xiaobo's parents. However, after asking his daughter about it, he realized that things were not as they had imagined. Kong Xiaobo's parents objected to them being together at first, but because of Lin Yi's help, Kong Xiaobo's parents finally agreed. There was no other reason. Lin Yi gave Kong Xiaobo a chance to stand out. It also gave Kong Xiaobo the confidence and capital to speak in front of his parents. After all, it could be said that Kong Xiaobo had already grown up and could take charge of things on his own. He would handle matters of the heart well. Xiaofan's parents were happy to see Kong Xiaobo, Tang Yun, and Lu Xinwen. However, they were curious. Don't you have school today? Why are you here so early? It's a school holiday, so I'm thinking of bringing Xiaofan to the hospital for a checkup. Kong Xiaobo smiled as he greeted Xiaofan's parents. I wanted to go to the hospital to see Uncle Tang too. I wanted to go for a long time, but my legs aren't convenient. My parents were worried about me, so I went by myself, Xiaofan heard Kong Xiaobo's suggestion and said happily. Xiaofan and Tang Yun were good friends since young. She often went to Tang Yun's house to eat, so she was familiar with Tang Yun's parents. Since Tang Juqing was hospitalized, she naturally had to visit. Yeah, we also want to see old Tang, but we don't know when Qibing Real Estate will come to demolish the house. We don't dare to leave, afraid that the bulldozers will come and destroy the house. Xiaofan's parents sighed. These people are too wicked, there's nothing we can do. Ah? It can't be, right? They dare to do that? Kong Xiaobo was shocked. What's wrong with that? They even dare to demolish Tang Yun's house when there's someone in it, let alone those without? Xiaofan's father said angrily. Old Nio's house in the front yard was demolished by a bulldozer just because he went out. Now, he has no place to go and his family doesn't even know where to live. They really dare to do that? Kong Xiaobo clenched his fist in anger, but he knew that he wasn't capable enough to change anything. If only boss was willing to do something about it. Wasn't it unbelievable that Lin Yi dared to push down Zhao Qibing's skyscraper and cripple Zhao Qibing without any repercussions? Wasn't it unbelievable? What he didn't understand was why Zhao Qibing didn't take revenge. Bullying the weak and fearing the strong. In fact, what Kong Xiaobo didn't know was why Zhao Qibing didn't take revenge. He did take revenge on Peng Zhan, but he didn't expect Lin Yi to resolve it. Forget it. We're just commoners. Those people are more powerful than the mafia, we don't dare to go against them. Xiaofan's father shook his head. How can Lin Yi take care of everything? Don't give him any more trouble. It wasn't that Xiaofan's parents didn't want Lin Yi to talk to Zhao Qibing and ask for more compensation, but why would Lin Yi help them? Lin Yi probably didn't care about the compensation. From the way he dealt with Zhao Qibing, it could be seen that he didn't lack money, he just wanted to vent his anger. Kong Xiaobo didn't dare to simply agree. He could only wait until he saw Lin Yi and talk to him. Although he didn't need Lin Yi to take care of everything, he still wanted to help Xiaofan's family. After all, she was his girlfriend, wasn't she? Kong Xiaobo brought Xiaofan, Tang Yun, and Lu Xinwen out of the slums. They stopped a taxi and the four of them rushed to the hospital. Kong Xiaoming was shivering in the ice hockey rink. He didn't care about the people looking at him as if he was an idiot. Finally, he felt that he couldn't take it anymore. His body was hot and cold at the same time. Tears and snot flowed down his face. He almost fainted. He turned to Zhu Xiaozhang and asked, Xiaozhang, can you check if I have a fever? Zhu Xiaozhang quickly touched Kong Xiaoming's forehead and jumped in fright. Master Ming, your head is so hot. You can boil water. Is that so? That's great, let's go. Kong Ming clenched his teeth and smiled bitterly. Yeah, we finally did it. Wang Shubing was happy as well. He felt cold even with his jacket on. He didn't want to stay here any longer. Haha, I finally caught a cold. Kong Ming was in pain and happiness at the same time. He stood up, laughed, and staggered to the door. The people in the ice hockey rink were dumbfounded. Was this guy an idiot? He finally caught a cold? Did he come here to catch a cold? Could this guy be a mental patient? The girl who took pictures with her phone continued to record this scene. She was ready to upload it to the internet. This was a cold bro. Kong Ming, Zhu Xiaozhang, and Wang Shubing left the ice hockey rink and drove the Porsche Cayenne back to the hospital. He was in a hurry to see Guan Exen. Chapter 686. Another failure. It wasn't easy for them to make it to the First People's Hospital. Wang Shubin and Zhu Xiaozhang also started sneezing, but it wasn't too serious. They supported Kong Xiaoming, who couldn't even stand up, into the hospital. They rushed to the floor where Guan Exen worked and found her in the nurse's office. Achoo! Kong Ming sneezed as soon as he entered the room. Guan Exen, who was preparing medicine, jumped in fright. She turned around and saw Kong Ming walking in with two other people supporting him. She was surprised. Why are you here again? Guan Exen, I'm here to see a doctor. Kong Ming felt like he finally found a reason to talk to Guan Exen. He was excited. I have a cold, can you give me a shot? Did you register? Did you see a doctor? Do you have a doctor's advice? Guan Exen furrowed her eyebrows. She didn't understand why Kong Xiaoming was so sick after going out for a walk. It seemed to be very serious. But whether he was sick or not, Guan Exen couldn't give him a shot. How could she give him a shot without a doctor's advice? I still need to see a doctor? Look at me, I'm going to die if I don't get a shot. Kong Mingming was stunned. He suddenly remembered the procedure of going to the hospital to see a doctor. It was all his fault for having a fever. He was confused and his brain wasn't working. But why didn't Zhu Xiaozhang and Wang Shubing remind him? They didn't have a fever. Why were they so stupid? He couldn't help but glare at Zhu Xiaozhang and Wang Shubing. But in front of Guan Xian, Kong Mingming couldn't scold them directly. This was Kong Mingming's wish. Zhu Xiaozhang and Wang Shubing were young masters. When they were in the capital, they didn't even need to register for a doctor. Especially with Kong Mingming's relationship with Dr. Kang's family. No matter which hospital they went to, they would have someone they knew. They could just find someone they knew to give them the shots and medicine. They didn't even need to register for a doctor. Nurse Guan Xian. Master Ming's condition is serious and urgent. We didn't have time to register. Why don't you see him first and I'll go register? Wang Shubing quickly said. Then you should go to the doctor too. Without a doctor's advice, I can't just use the medicine. Guan Xian said, since it's so serious, why don't you bring him to the doctor first? Actually, it's like this. I don't know anyone in this hospital. I don't know anyone, and I'm afraid that they'll slander me. Kong Xiaoming suddenly had an idea. Look at how luxurious this hospital is. They must have taken a lot of money from the people. If I don't know anyone in this hospital, I wouldn't dare to do it. You're my only acquaintance. Please help me. Kong Mingming was very proud of his wit. This reason was very reasonable. Nowadays, many newspapers and news were reporting on the shady dealings of the hospital. He wasn't spouting nonsense. It was also very reasonable. Just as Kong Mingming was feeling good about himself, Guan Xian's face darkened. Our hospital system is very clear, and we have a clear fee. We can't cheat you, and all of our doctors have medical licenses. There's no way they'll kill you. That's hard to say. Even if the price is clearly marked, there will still be under-the-table manipulation. Kong Mingming's mind was still muddled, and he didn't notice Guan Xian's displeasure. He continued to speak in a self-righteous tone. These hospital bosses are all black-hearted, I'm really worried about them. My dad's not evil. Guan Xian glared at Kong Mingming before turning around and ignoring him. Ha! Kong Mingming froze when he heard Guan Xian's words. Then, he suddenly realized what was going on. Guan Xian's father, Guan Xiaoxiang, was Guan Xueming's son? And Guan Xueming's youngest son, Guan Xian's father, was a shareholder of this hospital. It's over. It's really over. Wasn't he pointing at the mulberry tree and scolding the locust tree? Wouldn't Guan Xian hate him to death now? Last time, he called her grandfather a liar, and this time, her father a black-hearted boss. What the hell? Was there any way to salvage the situation? Kong Mingming almost fainted on the spot. Not to mention the awkwardness. It seemed that the flu and fever were really harmful. If one's mind wasn't clear, one's words were easily incoherent. Guan Xian, don't be angry, that's not what I meant. I'm not saying that your dad is black-hearted. I'm just scared of some black-hearted businessmen. Kong Mingming quickly explained. I have a cold and a fever. My mind isn't clear, so I'm talking nonsense. You can't be calculative with a sick person, right? If you're sick, then go see the doctor. I need to work. Guan Xian understood Kong Mingming's thoughts. If it wasn't for the fact that Kong Mingming wanted to pursue her, he wouldn't have come to her. But Guan Xian didn't like him, so she wouldn't give him a chance. Kong Xiaoming didn't want to pester Guan Xian to accompany him anymore. He glanced at Wang Shubing and Zhu Xiaozhang, signaling them to bring him to the registration counter. After all, he could always ask Guan Xian for the injection after he got the doctor's order. Not long after Kong Mingming left, Kong Xiaobo came looking for him. Kong Xiaobo didn't know anyone in the hospital, so it was more convenient to bring Xiaofan to the doctor. He met Guan Xian through Lin Yi last time, and he knew that she was Guan Xueming's granddaughter. Kong Xiaobo naturally had a good relationship with her. Guan Xian was also happy to be friends with Kong Xiaobo. Why? Guan Xian didn't know. Was it because he was Lin Yi's good friend? However, Guan Xian still felt a little awkward when she saw Tang Yun beside Kong Xiaobo. It seemed that her little thoughts didn't escape the beautiful girl's eyes. Guan Xian, I brought Xiaofan here for a follow-up. Are you busy? Can you take us there? Kong Xiaobo asked with a smile after entering the nurse's office. Of course, let me finish what I'm doing. Guan Xian was preparing some medicine for external injuries. She needed to send it to the ward, so she had to prepare it before she could do anything else. Then I'll have to trouble you. Kong Xiaobo nodded gratefully. Sometimes, the doctor wouldn't be in the room, so if Kong Xiaobo brought Xiaofan to the doctor, he might not be able to find her. It's fine, what trouble? Guan Xian shook her head. You guys take a seat first, I still need to prepare for a while. Okay, you go ahead. Kong Xiaobo pulled Xiaofan to sit on the sofa, and Tang Yun was a little nervous. As a girl, her intuition told her that there was something between Lin Yi and Guan Xian. Chapter 687. Chapter 687. Spoiling a good thing as long as she didn't cross the line, she wouldn't care about her, right? From Tang Yun's point of view, her current love rival was Mississippi. As for Guan Xian, she didn't seem to be a love rival at all. Guan Xian prepared the medicine for a few rooms and personally delivered it over. She returned to the nurse's office and spoke to Kong Xiaobo and the others. I'm done, we can bring Xiaofan to the follow-up. All right, shall we go now? Kong Xiaobo stood up. No need, I'll bring Xiaofan there, you don't need to follow. Guan Xian didn't want Kong Xiaobo to follow. Xiaofan's mental illness was caused by another man, and the doctor might ask some sensitive questions during the follow-up. It would be awkward if Kong Xiaobo heard it, so Guan Xian decided not to bring Kong Xiaobo. That's fine, I'll have to trouble you then. Kong Xiaobo wasn't stupid. He could guess the situation from Guan Xian's expression, so he didn't insist. Xiaofan was grateful for Guan Xian's understanding. She actually didn't want Kong Xiaobo to follow because the doctor wanted to understand the whole situation. Sometimes the questions would be awkward. They would even ask how many times she slept with Kong Mingming. It wasn't something that Kong Xiaobo should hear. Tang Yun could feel Guan Xian's understanding. It was hard for a girl like her to not attract boys. But what could she do? She couldn't ask Lin Yi not to meet her, could she? Tang Yun was conflicted. She finally fell in love with him, but why was it so bumpy? She thought that with her looks, it wouldn't be hard to find a boy who would treat her well wholeheartedly. She was satisfied that he treated her well, but the girls around him were all better than her. Some of them were even better than her. She didn't know how to deal with this at all. She had no experience at all. Tang Yun sighed softly as she watched Guan Xian leave. Why was she so unlucky? Her competitors were so strong. How could she feel at ease? Xinwen patted Tang Yun's shoulder, noticing her disappointment. What's wrong? You're conflicted again? When did I? How could Tang Yun admit it? How could she show weakness in front of her good friend? You're still denying it? Ever since I saw Guan Xian, I felt like something's wrong with you. Xinwen understood Tang Yun quite well. Speaking of which, Yun, how far have you and Lin Yi progressed? Tell me the truth. How far can it go? We're just high school students, okay? At most we'll hold hands, right? Tang Yin was a little shy, but she attributed the lack of progress between her and Lin Yi to the fact that she was still in school. High school? They've had sex since middle school, right? Are you okay, Yun? Have you ever gone online before? A few days ago at Fatty Lai's house, you were talking so much, but it was all a lie. Xinwen was a little disappointed. Aren't they lying too? I don't believe that they'd dare to play 3P with Lin Yi. Tang Yin felt wronged. If it weren't for Meng Yao and Yushu, she wouldn't have said so many shameless things. I'm not sure about Meng Yao, but that Yushu, it's possible. She looks like she's eager to try. Xinwen was a good judge of character. I'm telling you, Yun, you have to keep a close eye on Lin Yi, or you won't be able to find a place to cry. How can I stop him if he wants to be with someone else? Tang Yin shook her head. She was full of uncertainty about the future. I really don't know what to say. With your personality, you'll suffer sooner or later. You won't even know when they sleep with Lin Yi. Xinwen said helplessly. She was disappointed that Tang Yin didn't meet her expectations. What can I do if he wants to sleep with them? Tang Yin seemed to be asking Xinwen, but it also seemed like she was asking herself. But after asking, Tang Yin shook her head. She didn't want to think about it anymore. These things were too troublesome. Kong Xiaobo couldn't interrupt their conversation. He could only sit on the side and pretend he didn't hear anything. This was School Beauty Tang, after all. Xiaobo had never thought that School Beauty Tang would be so worried about a man. His boss was too amazing. Zhu Xiaozhong helped Kong Mingming register downstairs and rushed to the clinic. Wang Shubing and Kong Mingming were already waiting there. There were many people registering at this hospital, but Zhu Xiaozhong was amazing. He directly cut the queue. When people criticized him, he was arrogant enough to hit them. This made the people who criticized him shut up. After all, Zhu Xiaozhong was fat, big, and tall. Who would want to mess with him? If he wanted to cut the queue, then so be it. Zhu Xiaozhong didn't feel ashamed at all. Instead, he felt proud. He felt that this was the only way he could live up to his nickname of arrogant bro. Kong Mingming went to see the doctor. His illness was simple. It was a common cold caused by a cold. The doctor prescribed him medicine, but Kong Mingming insisted on staying in the hospital. Actually, he didn't have to stay in the hospital due to his illness, but the doctor saw that his fever was very serious and he insisted on staying in the hospital, so he gave him 3 days of hospitalization. Kong Xiaoming looked very rich anyways, so the doctor didn't plan on saving money for him. Kong Mingming took the doctor's order and happily went to find Guan Xian for an injection. This caused Kong Mingming a lot of trouble. In fact, he could go to any general surgery nurse's duty room and treatment room with the doctor's order. But he was here for Guan Xian, so naturally, he wanted to find her. Master Ming, you have to hold on. We're almost at Guan Xian's floor. Hold on a little longer. Wang Shubing saw that Kong Mingming's legs were weak from the fever. He couldn't even walk properly, so he quickly cheered him on. Okay, I'll hold on. Kong Xiaoming gritted his teeth and insisted on going upstairs. Just as he was about to reach Guan Xian's nurse's room, he saw Guan Xian and another girl walking out from the nurse's room. The girl beside Guan Xian, however, made Kong Xiaoming freeze. He subconsciously stopped in his tracks. Master Ming, isn't that Xiao Fan? How come she's with Guan Xian? Zhu Xiaozhong also saw Xiao Fan and Guan Xian walk out together. He was a bit confused. Yeah, how does she know Guan Xian? Wang Shubing was also puzzled. Damn, I remember now. Kong Xiaobo seemed to know Guan Xueming last time. Then it's not strange that Xiao Fan knows Guan Xueming's granddaughter. Kong Mingming's mind finally worked, but he guessed wrong. Xiao Fan and Guan Xian didn't know each other through Guan Xueming. Makes sense. Zhu Xiaozhong nodded, but this is troublesome. Should we go or not? Chapter 688. A ticking time bomb, Master Ming. I don't think it's a problem if we go or not. It's already very troublesome. Wang Shubing shook his head and said seriously, Guan Xian and Xiao Fan know each other. This isn't easy. What do you mean? Even if she knows Guan Xian, she can't be with Guan Xian all the time. Can't she just avoid her? Kong Mingming asked curiously. You can't just avoid her. Master Ming, think about it. What if Xiao Fan spouts nonsense and tells her about what happened between you two? Do you think Guan Xian's impression of you would be good? What chance do you have? Wang Shubing was indeed a schemer. He considered the problem from all angles. Kong Xiaoming frowned at Wang Shubin's words. He wasn't wrong. Xiao Fan was like a ticking time bomb by Guan Xian's side. Who knew when it would explode with a bang and blow him up into a bloody mess? If that's the case, then this Xiao Fan is indeed a big problem. Kong Mingming hated Xiao Fan. Why was this bitch so good at causing trouble? Ever since he met her again, things haven't been going well for the Kong family. Now that he was pursuing Guan Xian, he couldn't let Xiao Fan ruin it. Thinking about this, Kong Mingming's eyes flashed with a hint of ruthlessness. Should we find a chance to kill her? Kong Xiaoming may look like a playful young master on the surface, but he was a bad person at heart. He had done many things like murder and arson without batting an eyelid. When he was in middle school, he dared to plot to kill Xiao Fan. Now he was even worse. I think it's a good idea. She's lucky that we didn't kill her last time. Now she's not staying at home and acting like a mental patient. I think she's looking for death. Zhu Xiaozhong was also a ruthless person. He immediately agreed with Kong Mingming's suggestion. I think we should forget about it. Wang Shubing hesitated. Killing her isn't a good idea. Wang Shubing, when did you become such a coward? Weren't you the one who found the car when we planned to kill Xiao Fan? Zhu Xiaozhong looked at Wang Shubing strangely. Don't tell me you're getting more and more convoluted?
Little Zhong, listen to what Wang Shubing has to say.
Kong Mingming still cared about Wang Shubin's suggestion. After all, Wang Shubin's brain wasn't bad.
He must have his reasons for saying this.
Young Master Ming, Kong Xiaobo's friend, Lin Yi, is a fucking lunatic, a complete violent maniac. Wang Shubin was a little scared. We all know that Tang Yun was injured by Zhao Qibing, right? On the day of Zhao Qibing's completion ceremony, Lin Yi demolished the skyscraper and broke Zhao Qibing's leg. Damn it, we'd better not provoke this kind of person. But Xiao Fan isn't Tang Yun. How can Lin Yi handle this? Zhu Xiaozhong was a little scared, but he still tried to defend himself. Xiao Fan is Kong Xiaobo's girlfriend now. If we kill her and it gets exposed, Kong Xiaobo will ask Lin Yi for revenge. It's better to be safe than sorry. If Lin Yi comes, we'll all be dead.
Wang Shubing shook his head.
That makes sense. Although Kong Mingming was a bad person, he was afraid of death. When he heard that Lin Yi might come for revenge, he immediately gave up on the idea of killing Xiao Fan. It was better not to provoke this kind of violent maniac. How did Lin Yi survive until now? Zhao Qibing seemed to have a lot of power. Why didn't he go after Lin Yi? That's why, young Master Ming, we need to discuss our strategy carefully. How can we solve this problem once and for all? Wang Shubing said. Then what should I do now? Kong Mingming suddenly thought of a very serious problem. When he saw Xiao Fan, he almost forgot that he had a cold. We can only find another nurse now. Guan Xen is out of the question. Wang Shubing said helplessly.
Damn, I caught a cold for nothing?
Kong Xiaoming almost fainted on the spot. He had endured so much pain and almost died. It was only with great difficulty that he managed to catch a cold, but now he couldn't get Guan Xen to give him an injection. Young Master Ming, you have to think about it this way. If Xiao Fan came when we were looking for Guan Xen, wouldn't we be exposed? Wang Shubing comforted. If that happens, we'll still be able to benefit from a disaster. Now that you put it that way, is it? Kong Mingming thought about it carefully. It was true. He should be happy. If Guan Xen hadn't rejected him and had given him the shot, wouldn't he have been exposed in a heartbeat? Thinking about this, Kong Mingming was happy again. It seemed like God was supporting him in pursuing Xiao Fan. With Wang Shubing and Zhu Xiaozhong accompanying him, Kong Mingming came to a general surgery treatment room. He gave the doctor's advice to a young and beautiful nurse. Kong Mingming thought that even if he didn't have Guan Xen to give him the injection, it would be good to find a beautiful girl. Big eyes, an oval face, and skin that glowed like a spirit. Kong Mingming drooled when he saw her. It was a uniform temptation. Such a beautiful girl. It would be a waste for her to be a nurse here. Kong Xiaoming's mind started to move. He had flirted with a lot of girls in the past few years, but there weren't many of the best quality ones. Xiao Fan was one of the top quality ones. If it wasn't for the fact that she was too infatuated with him and wanted to marry him, Kong Xiaoming wouldn't have dumped her so quickly. However, in Kong Mingming's eyes, the nurse in front of him was of the highest quality. She was much better than Xiao Fan. Although she wasn't that tall, she was just right. The key was her figure. Even the white gown couldn't hide her exquisite figure. Kong Mingming's LSD was acting up again. However, when he thought about how his main task was to flirt with Guan Xen, Kong Mingming became discouraged again. He could only give up on this beautiful nurse. However, Guan Xen was also of the highest quality, so it wasn't too bad. Just as Kong Mingming passed the doctor's advice to the nurse, she turned around and passed it to a tall and sturdy woman. "Nurse Wang, there's a patient." "Oh, okay." The sturdy woman called Nurse Wang took the doctor's advice and looked at Kong Mingming. "It's a cold. First do an allergy test, then give it a muscle injection. If there's nothing else, you can start the drip." "You're going to give it to me?" Kong Mingming saw that the sturdy woman was about to give him the injection. He was a bit anxious. He was looking for a beautiful nurse. Why was it a sturdy woman? Chapter 689. Not dead yet. I want her to do it for me. Kong Mingming pointed at the beautiful nurse and said, "Oh, then let her do it for you." The woman put down her work and walked out of the treatment room. Seeing Kong Mingming's lecherous look, she was annoyed. Did this guy come to the hospital for treatment or to look at beauties? What the hell? How dare he let someone else do it? I hope it won't kill you. Kong Ming saw that the nurse agreed and was overjoyed. He said to the beautiful nurse, "Why don't you do it for me?" "It's my first day here, I can't do it." The beautiful nurse waved her hands, but seeing Kong Ming's pleading eyes, she said, "Why don't I try? If it can't go in, I can do it a few more times." Huh. Kong Ming was hoping that the nurse would do it for him, but when he heard what the nurse said, his heart went cold. First day here? Trying to prick it? What kind of joke was this? He was not a test subject. What if he died? What's wrong? The beautiful nurse looked at Kong Ming strangely.
No. Nothing, I'll go and find Nurse Wong.
Although Kong Ming was a bit lascivious, he would never joke around with his life for a girl. But Nurse Wong went to the inpatient department, she won't be back for a while. The beautiful nurse looked at Kong Ming with a troubled expression. Why don't I try it for you? Is that all right? My technique is still very good, and I've practiced on dead people before. No. No need. Kong Ming was shocked. What the hell, you've practiced on dead people before? If I let you do it, I'll probably become a dead person too. This beautiful nurse looked very beautiful, with big eyes and big breasts, but she was a tiger. Was she not afraid of stabbing people to death? How could she give injections a try? Kong Ming didn't want to be killed, so he quickly stood up and forced a smile. There's no need. Is there another treatment room nearby? Oh, there is. Turn left and take the elevator. It's on the second floor underground. The beautiful nurse thought for a moment and said, But it's a little far. You look like you're going to faint. Shall I give you an injection? There's no need. I'm very awake. I won't faint for a while. Kong Ming waved his hand and left the nurse's treatment room with Wang Shubing and Zhu Xiaozhong. They ran in the direction of the elevator, cursing as they ran. What kind of bullshit tea hospital was this? The intern nurses were too immoral. How dare they use patients for experiments? Young Master Ming, can you do it? Should we rest for a bit? Wang Shubing saw that Kong Ming's head was heavy, so he quickly asked. I'm fine. Let's go get the injection. If I knew this would happen, I would have asked that tough lady to do it for me. I'm so fucking unlucky. Kong Ming thought that he was unlucky every time he met Xiao Fan. It seemed like it was true. The three of them entered the elevator. The lady in charge of the elevator looked at Kong Ming and asked, Which floor do we go to? This is the staircase downstairs. Let's go downstairs too, to the second floor underground. Wang Shubing said to the lady. In his heart, he thought, what kind of plan is this hospital? The treatment rooms aren't all together. They're all over the place, and this one is in the basement. The lady looked at the three of them strangely, but she still pressed the button for the second floor underground. When the elevator reached the first floor, everyone on the elevator went down. Only Kong Ming and the other two were left. Kong Ming felt strange. Why didn't anyone go to the basement? When the elevator reached the second floor underground, the elevator door opened. Wang Shubing and Zhu Xiaozhong helped Kong Ming out of the elevator. They couldn't help but feel a wave of cold air hit them in the face. The three of them couldn't help but shiver.
What entered their nostrils was the smell of decay and medicine.
The light in the corridor was very dim. Fuck, what the hell is this place? How come there's no one here? Kong Ming couldn't help but curse. Wang Shubing also felt strange. When he raised his head, he was shocked. He subconsciously took 2 steps back. He was still supporting Kong Ming. When he stepped back, Kong Ming couldn't help but stumble. Kong Ming couldn't help but curse. What are you doing? Do you want to kill me? Master Ming, here. Here. Zhu Xiaozhong raised his head and also noticed something was wrong. Only Kong Ming couldn't lift his head. What's wrong? If you have something to say, spit it out. Kong Ming said impatiently, hurry up and look, where can I get an injection?
Master Ming, you can't get an injection here.
Zhu Xiaozhong said. Can't get an injection? Kong Ming was stunned. What do you mean? This is the place to give injections to the dead. Zhu Xiaozhong pointed in front of them and said in a panic, Master Ming, this is the morgue. What? Kong Ming heard Zhu Xiaozhong's words and suddenly jumped. He raised his head and looked. Wasn't that right? The words, morgue, were written in big letters. Under the dim light of the corridor, it looked especially eerie.
Gotcha? Just as the three of them were panicking, a sound came from the door of the morgue. Run!
Kong Ming Ming also forgot that he was a patient. He didn't know where he got the strength to turn around and rush out of the elevator. He madly pressed the elevator button, but the elevator had already gone up more than 10 floors. It would take a while for the elevator to descend. Wang Shubing and Zhu Xiaozhang were also nervous. Although they reminded themselves in their hearts, how could there be a ghost in broad daylight? However, the atmosphere here was indeed eerie. It made their hearts beat faster for no reason. The door of the morgue slowly opened, and a morgue cart slowly slid out from the small door of the morgue. Kong Ming Ming heard the sound and turned around. He suddenly fainted. His body was already weak, and with the addition of fright, how could he stand it? On the other hand, Wang Shubing and Zhu Xiaozhang, although scared, were relieved when they saw what was behind the morgue cart. A little old man was pushing the mortuary cart towards the elevator. The lights were dim, and the old man was short. Naturally, people would think that the mortuary cart was moving on its own. The old man also saw Wang Shubing and Zhu Xiaozhang, but when he saw Kong Ming Ming on the ground, he immediately asked, "Another one died? Why did you guys send him here yourself? Where's the doctor?" Chapter 690. Change your name, okay? Wrong direction?
The old man shook his head and ignored the three of them.
He continued to wait for the elevator. Kong Xiaoming fainted on the spot. He didn't know what fear was, but Zhu Xiaozhang and Wang Shubin were scared out of their wits. They were standing next to a corpse. How could they not be scared? After Kong Ming Ming and the other two left, the beautiful nurse took out 3 big wallets from her white coat and opened them. She couldn't help but smile instantly, and her eyes curved into the shape of a crescent moon. I didn't expect these 3 perverts to be so rich. Humph, this is what you get for being lecherous. I'll send you to the morgue. The beautiful nurse quickly took out the money from the wallet and put it in her pocket. Then she threw the 3 wallets out of the window. After a while, Nurse Wang came back with a swaddle in her hand. Seeing that Kong Ming Ming and the other 2 people were gone, she asked curiously, "Where are they?" Nurse Wang saw that Kong Ming Ming was a little unreliable, so she wanted to teach him a lesson. Anyway, he wouldn't die from a cold, so she deliberately went out to do other things. She planned to give them an injection when she came back, but when she came back, she found that Kong Ming Ming was gone. Maybe he couldn't wait and went to another place to get an injection? The beautiful nurse pretended not to know. She skipped over and took the swaddle from Nurse Wang's hands. She looked at it and said, "Wow, it's a cute princess." Yeah, these parents are really cruel. They just left him in the hospital. The parents also left a fake name. The police can't find any information.
Nurse Wang sighed.
It's all thanks to your orphanage. Otherwise, I don't know what to do with the abandoned babies in the hospital.
They value men more than women.
The baby girl in the beautiful nurse's hands seemed to be able to understand words. Hearing that her parents didn't want her, she couldn't help but cry. The beautiful nurse hurriedly coaxed the child. Don't cry, little baby. Big sister Xiao Ku will take you to your new home. There are many big brothers and sisters, little darling. Big sister Xiao Ku will buy milk powder for you later." The beautiful nurse's voice was very pleasant, as if she was born to coax these children. When the baby girl heard the beautiful nurse's words, she stopped crying. The beautiful nurse shook her eyebrows for a while, and the baby girl fell into a deep sleep. Xiao Ku, head nurse son from the obstetrics and gynecology department, is on leave today, so you don't have to look for her. Why don't you just take the child home? The procedures are here. I've already done it for you. Nurse Wang handed a folder to the beautiful nurse. Thank you, Nurse Wang. Then I'll go first? The beautiful nurse took the child's file and thanked him with a smile. What are you thanking me for? Our hospital has to thank you. Otherwise, we don't know what to do with these children.
Nurse Wang waved her hand.
And then I'll go first. The beautiful nurse took off her white coat and returned it to Nurse Wang. Here, the air conditioning in this room is quite cold. I'm used to a house without air conditioning, so I'm really not used to it. Nurse Wang shook her head, took the white coat, and sent the beautiful nurse away. Lin Yi left the hospital, stopped a taxi, and went back to the villa first. There was nothing to do in the hospital. Miss probably didn't want to see him now. After all, The situation before was too embarrassing. Lin Yi was a little regretful. It would have been better to find a random male student to force the poison out. However, he didn't have full confidence that he could concoct the antidote for the poison. He couldn't take the risk. If he had to choose again, he would still save Miss first. As for whether the others could be cured or not, it really didn't have much to do with Lin Yi. Deadly 7 herbs poison, a poison that had been lost in history, actually appeared here. Although Lin Yi didn't say anything when he was in the hospital, he had to report this news to the old man as soon as possible. There was still someone who knew about this poison? Which faction sent him here? This incident was obviously not random. It was premeditated. Was it targeted at Chu Pingzhan or Meng Yao? Lin Yi didn't know about these. He had to ask Ling Shan to know the details. He could call Ling Shan in the car, but calling the old man was a bit secretive. Lin Yi had to go home first. Miss Braindead, is there any result on the poisoning? Lin Yi called Ling Shan. Ling Shan was so angry that she clenched her teeth. Why did he call her Miss Braindead again? She thought he stopped calling her that. This title doesn't sound good, okay? Although Ling Shan tried very hard to treat it as a nickname or pet name that Lin Yi called her, she couldn't do it. Lin Yi, we're already like this. Can you not call me Miss Braindead in the future? Ling Shan wanted to protest, but she had to think of a countermeasure. Protesting directly to Lin Yi obviously wouldn't work, but Ling Shan knew that Lin Yi's weakness was soft-heartedness. If she said it nicely, it might work. Okay, then what should I call you? Tigress? Lin Yi asked. Yeah. You can call her Lil, Song Girl or Cute Girl, that's fine too. Tigress Girl sounds too bad. Ling Shan realized that Lin Yi was more interested in the XX girl combination, and didn't dare change it too much. She suggested 2 nicknames that she could accept. Oh, then I'll call you Little Dumb Girl. Lin Yi didn't take Ling Shan's answer. Okay. Ling Shan gritted her teeth. Little Dumb Girl it is, at least it sounded better than Miss Braindead, right? Although the meaning was similar, it didn't sound as insulting. Things had to be done step by step, didn't they? Rome wasn't built in a day. Ling Shan felt that if she worked hard, she could definitely become Cute Girl or something. Ling Shan couldn't help but feel disgusted by her own thoughts. Was she a bitch? Satisfied just like that? And she was hoping that Lin Yi would call her Cute Girl? If this matter were to spread out, how could anyone live? But, other than being a little angry, Ling Shan didn't feel any repulsion at all. Little Dumb Girl, is there any result for the poisoning? Lin Yi asked. Chapter 691. Chapter 691. The Hidden Family. However, Ling Shan didn't know that Lin Yi was the one who discovered the poison, and Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company was just a spokesperson. Zhong Pingliang. Lin Yi paused. How did this have anything to do with Zhong Pingliang? This kid had lost his kidney, and he still came out to poison people? Yes, but Zhong Pingliang is also a victim. We decided to exempt him from punishment. Of course, I don't agree with it personally, but I can't decide the final result, Ling Shan said faintly. She didn't have a good impression of Fabai and his son, but I heard that there are people protecting Zhong Pingliang from above. I think he's been hanging out with Zhao Qibing recently? I understand. Lin Yi finally understood who was the mastermind behind this. If there were no accidents, it should be Zhao Qibing, and other than Uncle Zhu, there were other masters behind him. Is there anything else? I helped you, aren't you going to treat Miss Braindead for a meal? Ling Shan had gotten used to calling herself Miss Braindead in front of Lin Yi, and she almost said it out loud. What was wrong with her mouth? She wanted to be Miss Braindead? You got it wrong, right? Lin Yi realized that Ling Shan and the Miss were 2 different types of people. They'd both had their bodies seen, and they'd both seen embarrassing things, but Ling Shan had gotten a lot closer to him all of a sudden, while the Miss was a lot colder. Then I can treat you, Ling Shan said. Come to my house next Saturday? I don't have time, Lin Yi said faintly, rejecting her directly. Lin Yi felt that Miss Song was very pretty, and very seductive. It would be nice to have something happen with her, right? But the consequences. He was already annoyed enough right now. If she got closer to him, he wouldn't be able to do anything else if she came looking for him. Oh, next time then. Ling Shan was a little disappointed. Lin Yi really didn't seem to be interested in her at all. Her seduction had failed. Lin Yi's guess was right. Ling Shan really did see Lin Yi as a sucker. She'd already seen it, and she'd gotten the short end of the stick. There was nothing she could do about it, so she might as well ask Lin Yi for help. Ling Shan wanted Lin Yi to solve all the cases in the police force like the burglary group, the motorcycle gang, and so on. These organizations had been around for a long time, and it was hard to take them all out at once, but Ling Shan still had some hopes. His current momentum was very good. If he continued to develop like this, it would not be a dream to be promoted to bureau chief. How long had he been in office? He had solved so many big cases in a row. The current Ling Shan was much more at ease than before. She thought that since she'd been seen by Lin Yi, she could be considered Lin Yi's girl. He'd help her solve the cases. What burden would she have? Lin Yi hung up the phone, feeling a bit of a headache. He'd saved Ling Shan, and now this Miss Song had learned how to pester him endlessly. She was much smarter than before. After returning to the villa, Lin Yi called old Lin. There was no one in the villa, so Lin Yi didn't need to hide from anyone. Old man, someone used deadly 7 herbs poison here. Old Lin paused. After a while he asked, "Are you sure?" "Yeah, I'm sure. I tasted it," Lin Yi said. "Could it be that those people came out again?" Old Lin said uncertainly. "Who?" Lin Yi asked. "People from the hidden house." Old Lin said. "Hidden house? I've heard of the 4 big and 5 small noble houses, but I've never heard of any hidden house. What do they do?" Lin Yi paused. The 4 big and 5 small noble houses are just some noble houses that formed later in the common world. They can't be compared to the hidden houses at all. Old Lin said, "But I don't know much about the hidden houses. Your master knows more than me because he was one of the people involved back then. According to the agreement from more than 10 years ago, some ancient martial arts houses need to live in seclusion. Otherwise, their appearance will destroy a lot of the current order." "Oh, my master?" Lin Yi paused. He didn't expect his master to be related to the hidden houses. Among these hidden houses, there's a medical family, Yunan's House Yu. Although they're proficient in medicine, they're best at using it to harm people. They're also very good at goo. Old Lin said, but according to the agreement, House Yu doesn't allow their disciples to walk in the common world. They can only serve the big and hidden houses. You're saying that this House Yu knows the recipe of deadly 7 herbs poison? Lin Yi asked with a frown. "It's possible, but I'm not sure." Old Lin said, "You should pay attention to this matter first, but don't worry about it. With your current strength, you can't reach that level. They don't dare to violate the agreement from back then. Otherwise, your master wouldn't be able to ignore it." "Okay, I got it." Since Old Lin had said so, Lin Yi naturally wouldn't continue asking. Although his current strength was enough to roam the common world, he wouldn't be able to do anything to those hidden monsters. "Is there anything else?" "Oh right, I've already given the medicine you asked Air Gooden to get, but this kid is busy with spring plowing. He'll have to wait for a few days." Old Lin said. "This is not urgent." Lin Yi said, "Oh right, do you know about the Wanyankan box?" Lin Yi suddenly remembered the Wanyankan box he got at the auction, but he didn't know what it was used for. After coming back from the auction, he had been busy with all kinds of things. He also forgot about the box until now. Wanyankan box? I've heard of this before. There's an introduction in an ancient book at home. Old Lin thought about it and said, "Why do you ask?" "I think I have one with me," Lin Yi said. "What?" Old Lin was shocked. "You have it? How did you get it? You actually have something that can only appear in ancient books?" "I got it by chance at an auction." Lin Yi didn't expect Old Lin to have such a big reaction. Could it be that this Wanyankan box was really special? So he asked, "Old man, is this thing good?" "How can it not be good when it's mentioned in ancient books?" Old Lin asked back. "Oh, then this Wanyankan box, what is it used for?" Lin Yi's curiosity was also piqued, and he quickly asked. "I really don't know what it's used for." Old Lin changed the topic. "Huh." Lin Yi was stunned. He didn't expect Old Lin to answer like this. He couldn't help but be surprised. "You don't know?" Chapter 692. Chapter 692. Female cat burglar Xianxia. Lin Yi was speechless. "Then why are you so surprised?" "I thought it was something good." "It's natural to be surprised, How can I not be surprised if you can get something from an ancient book?
Old Lin rolled his eyes and retorted. Also, how can something mentioned in the ancient book not be good?
But even if it's good, the book didn't mention how to use it. It only mentioned that it's similar to a fresh-keeping container. It can keep medicine from going bad for 10,000 years. But it definitely has more than one function. It's just lost.
This. Lin Yi rolled his eyes. Then you didn't say anything. I'll research it myself.
Lin Yi hung up the phone. He didn't know what to say. Old Lin's words had no value at all. It made Lin Yi very distressed. It was like getting a high-level magical weapon in a game. But he didn't know how to use it. He was happy, but he couldn't open it. Fortunately, reality wasn't a game. He didn't need to worry about the space in his backpack. He could store some junk. Lin Yi put the Wanyankan box and the 2 pieces of the map into the drawer. Since they were useless now, Lin Yi could only see them as junk. After calling old Lin, Lin Yi called Tang Yun.
Hello.
Tang Yun was waiting for Fawn in the nurse's room when her phone rang. Tang Yun looked at the caller ID and was instantly happy. Lin Yi, where are you? Is Meng Yao okay? Tang Yun didn't know why, but the first thing she asked was Meng Yao. Was she really worried about Meng Yao, or was she worried about whether Lin Yi and Meng Yao were together now? Tang Yun didn't know herself.
She's fine now.
Lin Yi didn't know how to explain it to Tang Yun. Although it was to save Meng Yao, it was still an awkward scene. I'm at home, she's still in the hospital.
Oh.
Tang Yun let out a sigh of relief. She was afraid that Meng Yao would use some unorthodox methods to compete with her. For example, she could ask Lin Yi to stay by her side while she was sick. She could say that she needed protection during her illness. Tang Yun didn't have any complaints about that. Where are you? Lin Yi asked. I'm in the hospital with Xiao Fun. Guan Exine brought her there, Tang Yun said.
I'll go look for you?
Lin Yi didn't know if Tang Yun did it on purpose or not, but Lin Yi didn't know how to respond when Guan Exine was mentioned.
That's fine too.
Tang Yin nodded. My mom wanted to talk to you about buying a house. You can't stay in the hospital forever, can you? My dad's leg is almost healed. The doctor said that he only needs to rest at home. Okay, I'll go now. Lin Yi didn't have anything to do anyway. He hung up and left the villa. But he remembered that he'd left his car at the food street behind the school. He'd left with Jiang Wen's car in the afternoon, and he'd taken a taxi to get here. It was unnecessary to go to the school to get his car. Tang Yun already knew about his relationship with the Mississippi. Lin Yi drove Yushu's yellow Beetle. Lin Yi had just parked the car in the parking lot of the Songshan First People's Hospital when a middle-aged beggar with a cane came up to him.
Young man, do me a favor and give me some money. As soon as the beggar came up, he began to talk incessantly. My leg was injured when I was working at the construction site. The black-hearted contractor didn't give me a single cent, so I can only rely on begging to save up for medical expenses. Do me a favor, I won't mind 100 or 2. 100 or 2 wasn't mind a favor. Lin Yi couldn't help but be amused. This beggar's appetite was too big. 100 or 2. Wasn't he afraid of biting his tongue? If he'd only asked for 8 or 10 kwai, Lin Yi might have just given him some change and sent him on his way, but this beggar was crossing the line.
Naturally, Lin Yi was getting annoyed. He looked at the beggar faintly and said one word. Scram. But the beggar didn't leave. Instead, he blocked the front of Lin Yi's car and refused to leave. If you don't give me money, I'll keep sitting here. Don't leave today. I'm a disabled man, what's there to be afraid of? Don't come back if you can. Ha! Lin Yi laughed at the beggar's stubbornness. He took out the silver needle box from his pocket and opened it. He looked at the beggar and said faintly, Your leg is broken? It's just right. I'll help you cure it. As Lin Yi said this, he took out a silver needle and was about to stab the beggar. The beggar was shocked. He didn't expect Lin Yi to carry silver needles with him. He was a little timid. He looked at Lin Yi with hatred, turned around, and quickly left with his cane. Lin Yi sneered and put away the silver needle box. To deal with this kind of person, he naturally had to be more domineering than them. Lin Yi locked the car and was about to walk into the hospital, but he was stopped by a girl. Lin Yi frowned. The girl was pretty, with an oval face, big eyes and arched eyebrows. She looked a bit like a girl from a romance novel, but her expression wasn't very pleasant.
It was as if she was going to eat Lin Yi alive. Her eyebrows were filled with anger, as if he owed her a lot of money.
Hey, why are you like this? Don't you have any sympathy? He's a disabled man, okay?
Not only did you not pay, but you scared him away with a weapon?
Xianxia was angry, really angry. She hated rich and heartless people like Lin Yi the most. He drove such a good car, but he didn't have the slightest bit of sympathy. Not only did he not pay, he even threatened the beggar with a weapon. He was so wicked to a certain extent.
With a weapon?
Lin Yi was slightly stunned.
He then remembered the silver needle in his hand. It seemed that this brave girl had misunderstood him.
However, Lin Yi was too lazy to explain to her. He shook his head and turned to leave.
Hey, I'm talking to you.
Xianxia was even more angry. She grabbed Lin Yi's clothes and didn't let him leave. The person in front of her not only didn't know how to repent, but also ignore her words. He looked like he didn't care. If she didn't teach him a lesson today, how could she face herself? This rich and heartless fat sheep. If she didn't make a move, then even the heavens would blame her.
Say what?
That beggar? Lin Yi frowned.
If you pity him, then give him money.
Chapter 693. I want to challenge you, of course. I'll give him the money now. Xianxia ignored Lin Yi and ran to the beggar. With her back facing Lin Yi, she took out a wallet and gave 100 yuan to the beggar.
The beggar's eyes lit up as he thanked her.
Xianxia, on the other hand, left the hospital in a flash. I'm making money. I'm making money. I don't even know how to spend it. I'll buy a Nokia with my left hand, a Motorola with my right. Xianxia sang happily as she counted the money in her wallet. 3,000 yuan for a beetle? It wasn't even as good as the 3 perverts she met at noon. But Xianxia was still happy. She earned 3,000 yuan in a blink of an eye, especially after teaching that heartless rich young master a lesson.
Bang!
Xianxia suddenly bumped into someone, scaring her. It was her fault for being too engrossed, counting money as she walked without looking at the road. Xianxia said subconsciously, "Sorry, I didn't see the road." "I'll help you if you don't know how to spend it." Lin Yi blocked Xiaoqia's path. Xianxia froze and raised her head. She didn't expect it to be that rich young master from before. Why are you here? You're quite rich, aren't you? Lin Yi took out a lady's wallet and looked at the money in it. 10,000 yuan? Quite a lot, huh? Xianxia was shocked when she saw the wallet in Lin Yi's hand. She subconsciously touched her pocket, but her face paled when she touched it. My wallet? Why is it here? Oh, I thought you wanted to use your big wallet to exchange for my small wallet. Lin Yi said faintly. No wonder you gave 100 yuan to a scammer. You had too much money to burn. You're lying. When did I give money to a scammer? Xianxia glared at Lin Yi.
The beggar from before was a liar, Lin Yi said mockingly.
His leg isn't lame at all. It's fine. He's healthier than you.
Lin Yi was proficient in the art of medicine. Naturally, he could tell whether the beggar was really lame or not at first glance. When Lin Yi wanted to treat the beggar, not only did the beggar not stay, but he also ran away, which naturally explained the problem. What evidence do you have? Xianxia frowned after hearing Lin Yi's words. She was not stupid. She often committed crimes in this area. She had seen the beggar more than once or twice, but she did not think much about it before. But today, after thinking about it carefully, the beggar had been begging here for at least half a year. The money he asked for was already enough to see a doctor. Why didn't he go to see a doctor but continued to beg? But Xianxia didn't want to admit her mistakes, especially in front of Lin Yi. This scoundrel who stole my wallet. I'm too lazy to talk to you about this. Lin Yi snatched his wallet from Xiaoqia's hand. With your skills, you still dare to come out to steal? Go back and train for a few years before coming out to embarrass yourself. She was a girl, so Lin Yi was too lazy to argue with her. At the same time, he felt that Xianxia really wasn't suited to be a thief. To be a thief to this extent, she was really stupid. If he went to the police station, would she follow him? Xianxia followed Lin Yi. She was confident in her qinggong. The Fian sect was famous for their qinggong. Although she wasn't very skilled, she wasn't slow. From her point of view, following Lin Yi was a piece of cake.
She was looking for a suitable opportunity to steal all of Lin Yi's wallet. However, at the corner of a street, Xiaoka froze. Because Lin Yi was gone. Chapter 694. I'm so pissed. You're looking for me? Lin Yi's voice came from behind Xiaoka. Xiaoka jumped in fright and shivered, her scalp tingling. How did this person appear behind her without a sound? You, why are you behind me? Xiaoka turned around and looked at Lin Yi cautiously. Was this person a ghost? Didn't you ask me? Lin Yi asked. You. Xiaoka glared at Lin Yi, not knowing what to say. You want to learn how to stalk with that level of skill? Go home and rest. This world is actually very dangerous. It's unbelievable that someone like you could survive until now. Lin Yi looked at Xiaoka sympathetically. He was a decent person. If it was someone else, Xiaoka wouldn't even be able to find a place to cry. You're the unbelievable one. Xiaoka looked at Lin Yi angrily. Hey, are you in the same trade? Xiaoka felt that Lin Yi might be in the same trade. Otherwise, how could he be so good at stealing and be so elusive? Maybe you can be in the same trade if you practice for a few more years. Lin Yi smiled. Since you're so good, then accept my challenge. Xiaoka tried to provoke him. Hey, are you afraid of losing? That's why you don't dare to accept my challenge? Whatever you think. Lin Yi shrugged. Don't follow me, you can't keep up with me. Xiaoka really didn't know what to do. Facing someone like Lin Yi who wouldn't budge, what could she do? She gritted her teeth, unwilling to give up. Then can you give me back my wallet? Oh, I'll give it to you. I don't have much use for it anyway. Lin Yi agreed readily. Xiaoka was overjoyed. She was about to thank him when she saw her wallet flying towards her. She quickly caught it. But when he took a look, he was dumbfounded because his wallet was empty. There was not a dime left of his 10,000 yuan. Hey, where's my money? Xiaoka felt like she was being played. You only asked for your wallet, not your money? Lin Yi smiled and quickly left. Remember my words. Go back and train for a few years before coming out. Otherwise, you'll be finished sooner or later. Also, it's hard for me to understand. Are you really compassionate, or are you trying to steal my wallet by accusing me? I don't like the way you do things. I'm so mad. How infuriating. Xiaoka looked at Lin Yi's back and stomped her feet as if she wanted to crush Lin Yi. I'll stomp you to death. I'll stomp you to death. That's what you get for acting tough in front of me. That's what you get for looking down on me. That's what you get for... my leg. Xiaoka stepped on a stone and almost fractured her foot. Lin Yi turned a corner and returned to the hospital. The beggar was still begging there. When he saw Lin Yi, his eyes avoided eye contact. However, Lin Yi didn't want to do anything to the beggar. Whether he was lying or not had nothing to do with him. In the nurse's room upstairs, Lin Yi saw Tang Yun. Xiaofan and Guan Xian had just returned from the consultation. Guan Xian saw Lin Yi and blushed. She wanted to say something, but she held it back when she saw Tang Yun. On the other hand, Lin Yi took the initiative to greet Guan Xian. Xian, how's Xiaofan's illness? Actually, Lin Yi could see that Xiaofan's spirit was much better. Her illness came from her heart. Now that the knot in her heart was untied, it wasn't a big problem anymore. It was just that the side effects from before still needed to be controlled with medication. It's nothing. The doctor said that if the illness doesn't act up again, you don't need to come to the hospital anymore. Guan Xian shook her head. Sorry to trouble you. Lin Yi nodded. I saw Grandpa Guan today, but it was a bit rushed. I'll visit another day. Guan Xian nodded. She wanted to say that she wanted to cook for Lin Yi, but Tang Yun was also there. She didn't want to say it directly. She was afraid that Tang Yun would misunderstand. She hesitated and said, Tang Yun, why don't you come as well? I'll cook for you guys. I won't be going. I've been quite busy recently. I don't know what to do now that my house is gone. Tang Yun was a bit embarrassed to go. It seemed like she didn't trust Lin Yi. Wouldn't that make her look petty? Tang Yun replied to Guan Xian's invitation, but I've troubled you a lot with Xiaofan and my father. I should treat you. When my house is settled, I'll cook for you. Sure. Guan Xian agreed with a smile. As they were talking, someone called Guan Xian at the door. Guan Xian went to work, while Lin Yi and Tang Yun went to Tang Juqing's ward. Kong Xiaobo, Xiaofan, and Lu Xinwen left first. They knew that Tang Yun's family was looking for Lin Yi to discuss about the house. It wasn't appropriate for them to participate. Uncle Tang, how do you feel? Lin Yi saw that Tang Juqing could walk with the help of the crutches. His recovery was quite fast. Not bad. He's much stronger than the last time. Your Chinese medicine is very effective. Even the doctors in the hospital were surprised. Tang Juqing smiled, but they asked me for the Chinese medicine prescription. I didn't give it to them. I said that I bought it with money and I don't have the prescription. Lin Yi nodded. It seemed that Tang Juqing wasn't a stubborn person. He was quite smart. He knew that the prescription was very valuable and couldn't be given away easily. This kind of medicine that could accelerate bone growth could be mass-produced. The economic benefits wouldn't be small. Don't give them the prescription. If anyone asks, just tell them that Professor Guan made it for you. They won't ask anymore. Lin Yi found a shield for Tang Juqing.
In the medical system, Guan Shuamin's prestige was irreplaceable. Right, Uncle Tang, Auntie Wang, I heard from Tang Yun that you were looking for me?
Yeah, Lil Yi, I was thinking about looking for you to see if we could buy a house. It's not good for us to stay in the hospital. The hospital fees are more expensive than a hotel. It's not worth it. Although Mrs. Tang didn't pay for it, she still felt bad. Wouldn't it be better if Lin Yi gave it to her? That's true. The hospital isn't as good as our home. Lin Yi nodded. He didn't think about it before. Lin Yi didn't have a place to live. He was used to this kind of wandering life. However, Tang Yun's family was different. They were ordinary people. They didn't feel comfortable without a home. Chapter 695. Special Offer Room. What about the demolition at Shantytown? Is there any movement? Lin Yi didn't pay attention to Master Bing's movements these few days. He only heard that he was rebuilding Qibing's skyscraper again. This time, he found a very efficient construction company, and the framework was already up. Of course, although Lin Yi destroyed his house and broke his leg, his business still had to continue. The slums still had to be demolished, but Lin Yi didn't know if he learned his lesson. They said that they're going to have a meeting with everyone to discuss the compensation. After what happened last time, they'll probably increase the price a little, but it won't be too high. Mrs. Tang sighed. Our house is gone, we'll just have to compensate as much as we can. I don't want to think about that anymore. Now that I think about it, should I rent a house or buy one? Lin Yi couldn't interfere with the compensation. He couldn't go to Zhao Qibing again and force him to compensate Mrs. Tang, could he? He destroyed one of his skyscrapers, so they were barely even. He would let him go for now. If Zhao Qibing knew what Lin Yi was thinking, he'd probably vomit blood in anger. A skyscraper for a broken house, and it was barely enough? Wasn't this too much of a scam? Let's buy one. Renting isn't a solution. Lin Yi thought that buying a house was better than renting one. Buy a house. Mrs. Tang's heart ached. Tang Juqing and Tang Yun also wanted to buy a house.
Now that they had the 500,000 from Lin Yi and some money from before, it was more than enough to buy a big house.
But Mrs. Tang didn't want to spend all the money in one go. If that happened, the family would have no savings, and the feeling of being rich would be gone again.
How could Lin Yi not know what Mrs. Tang was thinking when he saw her pained expression?
He smiled faintly. Aunt Wang, I know a friend. He used to be in the real estate business, so he should know a lot of developers. I'll give him a call and see if there are any special offer rooms. All right, that's great. Can you help me ask?
Mrs. Tang's greedy personality had not changed at all.
When she heard that Lin Yi could get a special price house, she immediately perked up. Actually, even if Lin Yi couldn't get a special price house, Mrs. Tang would still agree to buy a house under Tang Juqing and Tang Yun's insistence. But now that Lin Yi could use his connections to save some money, why not? Mrs. Tang was very happy that she wanted to talk to Lin Yi instead of foolishly running off to buy a house. Wouldn't that be a huge loss? Lin Yi gave Fatty Lai a call. Fatty Lai was in a state of extreme excitement. The press conference was very successful, and he believed that there wouldn't be any more advertisements before the products hit the market. With all these media reports, it would be hard for Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company not to be famous. After all, the fainting incident in the first high school was heavily hyped up by Direwolf.
The number of comments on the internet was calculated in units of hundreds of millions. All the netizens in the country were paying attention to this matter. Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company solved the fainting incident at the most crucial moment and formulated the corresponding antidote. This kind of reaction speed was enough to make them look down on everyone. By then, Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's name would be spread all over the internet.
Boss. Fatty Lai picked up the phone.
I heard that your press conference was quite successful. Although Lin Yi didn't see it himself, he heard the taxi drivers talking about it on the way here. They said how amazing Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company was. Even the hospital couldn't cure the disease, but they cured it.
Heh,
if it wasn't for boss's powerful prescription, everything I did would be in vain.
Fatty Lai's mind was still very clear. He didn't get complacent because of it. He understood that everything was because of Lin Yi's prescription and antidote. If it wasn't for these two, people would have to believe him no matter how much he boasted.
Hey, you've done very well, Lin Yi praised him. All right, how's the preparation of the antidote?
The raw materials have been purchased and it's already on the production line. Elder Guan is there to check, so there shouldn't be a problem, Fatty Lai said. Let me ask you something. Do you know anyone who is selling houses? Lin Yi asked. Selling houses? Why, boss, you want to buy a house?
Fatty Lai was stunned and asked.
It's Tang Yun's house. Didn't Zhao Qibing destroy the slums? I'm planning to buy a house now.
Do you know any developers who are doing promotions or selling houses at special prices?
Lin Yi's question was vague, but he believed that with Fatty Lai's intelligence, he would be able to understand Lin Yi's meaning. Indeed, Fatty Lai understood. From the moment he heard that Tang Yun's family wanted to buy a house, he understood Lin Yi's meaning. Fatty Lai used to be in the real estate business.
He had a few buildings in Songshan, and some of them were unsold or kept for his own use.
Lin Yi couldn't directly tell Tang Yun's family that he wanted to buy a house. With Tang Yun's personality, she would definitely reject it. Mrs. Tang would definitely stay and there would be some conflict between the mother and daughter. That was the case with the 500,000 yuan from before. Tang Yun always wanted to return it to Lin Yi, but Mrs. Tang wouldn't take it out. So Lin Yi thought of an idea. He wanted Fatty Lai to find an excuse to sell the house to Mrs. Tang at a low price. That way, Mrs. Tang would benefit from it and Tang Yun wouldn't suspect anything.
Oh, there really is.
Fatty Lai thought about it and said, just tell Auntie to contact me directly, I'll take care of it. Lin Yi smiled. Fatty Lai's ability to understand was quite good.
He smiled and said, there is?
All right, I'll tell Auntie Wang to contact you. Mrs. Tang looked at Lin Yi eagerly. When she heard Lin Yi say there was, her eyes lit up and she almost laughed out loud. She didn't have much money on hand, so she wanted to save as much as possible. Is there? Auntie Wang, my friend said that there really is a house with a special price promotion. You can contact him directly.
Lin Yi smiled.
That's great. I'll go check it out tomorrow. Mrs. Tang was also in a hurry to move. She couldn't find a suitable house before, but it was actually a cheap house. Nowadays, housing prices weren't cheap. If she could get a special price house, it would be a great deal. Lin Yi told Mrs. Tang about Fatty Lai's contact. Tang Yun frowned slightly. She was a little suspicious. How could it be such a coincidence? Their family was just about to buy a house, and Lin Yi could find someone to buy a special price house? But she couldn't ask in front of her mother, so she could only keep her doubts in her heart. There were police guards at the door. Some people were happy, while others were sad. Chapter 696. Visiting Jiangwen, on the other hand, didn't think the same. He was so worried that his hair was turning white. There were policemen guarding the door, and it was impossible to call the tattooed guy or Zhong Pingliang. He didn't bring his phone with him, and he was afraid that the police would find out if he used the ward phone. The kidney trafficking organization that he worked so hard for was wiped out by the police just like that? Jiangwen was in a lot of pain, but that wasn't the most painful thing. The most painful thing was that one of his kidneys had been cut off, and if he wasn't mistaken, that kidney should be in Zhong Pingliang's body. Jiangwen didn't want to lose a kidney. He wanted to find Zhong Pingliang and get his kidney back, but he didn't dare to do so. Although a kidney was important, it was nothing compared to his life. If the police found out that he was the head of the kidney trafficking organization, What awaited him wouldn't just be jail time. He might even be executed. And so, Jianghu was stuck in a dilemma. All he could do was stay in the room, depressed. The police came to see him, and he had to pretend to be the victim, looking pitiful and pained. In truth, he was in pain, but he didn't expose himself. But he didn't hide his identity. Jianghu wanted to make up a name, but it would be harder to explain if the police found out. He might as well tell them his real name. It would be safer. But what Jianghu didn't expect was that two acquaintances came to visit him. Chen Yutian didn't expect Lingshan to call him. This made him excited, but at the same time, he was surprised. Why was Lingshan calling him? Lingshan didn't expect that Lu Wangli's victim list would include Jianghu, one of the famous Songshan Four Young Masters. Of course, Lingshan didn't have a good impression of a playboy like this at all. This was also why she didn't like Chen Yutian at all. He only knew how to use his family background to bully others and act cool outside. What was left after he left his family's power? Although Chen Yutian had changed a lot these few years, Lingshan still didn't have any feelings for him. Their relationship was only slightly better than before. They could be considered as normal friends. So since they were normal friends, Lingshan still needed to inform Chen Yutian when something happened to Jianghu. Plus, as much as she hated Jianghu was one of the more important people in the city. She had to pay him a visit. Lingshan called Yutian to visit Jianghu at the hospital. No matter what, Yutian was very happy that Lingshan asked him out alone. However, Chen Yutian felt strange that Jianghu had one of his kidneys cut off by a kidney trafficking organization. Especially when he was drinking yesterday, he was fine. But today, he was in the hospital. This made Chen Yutian feel miserable. Lingshan was cold the whole way, her face cool and emotionless. Yutian had a lot of things he wanted to say, but he didn't know where to start. He tried to say something that didn't hurt, but Lingshan just ignored him. Yutian could only smile bitterly. From the looks of it, he really didn't have a big chance. Lingshan's words in particular made Yutian give up completely. He felt that he had no hope in this life. I've broken through the middle phase of the golden class, into the late phase. What's your strength now? Lingshan thanked Lin Yi from the bottom of her heart. If it wasn't for Lin Yi, she wouldn't have been able to break through. What else could Yutian do other than smile bitterly? He had just broken through to the early phase of the golden class. He wasn't even at the peak of the early phase, let alone the middle phase. The difference between him and Lingshan was like heaven and earth. Chen Yutian, I hope you can face yourself. The difference between us is too big. We're not suitable. Lingshan knew what Yutian was thinking, but she didn't expect him to still be thinking about her after so many years. Not suitable. Yutian sighed. Lingshan wasn't giving him a chance at all. You think you can beat me? Lingshan raised her head and stared at Yutian. I told you before, I don't like men who are weaker than me. When have you ever been strong in front of me? Not even once. You're always this weak, asking if I have time or not, asking if I have a chance. Look at what you've done. If you really have the strength, why don't you show it to me? Strong. Chen Yutian sighed once more. Can I be strong? You're a late phase, and I'm only an early phase. How am I supposed to be strong? Didn't you send me flying with one kick? Lingshan shook her head at Yutian's silence. Yutian was weaker than her, but he didn't have the heart to be strong. He didn't even dare think about it. Lingshan couldn't accept this kind of personality at all. Even if she did, she'd probably be laughed at when she brought him back to the songhouse. People who didn't know better would think that she'd found a man who married into her family. If it were Lin Yi, he'd probably explode already. But if it were Lin Yi, would she dare ask him a stupid question like, "Can you beat me?" It seemed like she didn't dare to. Lin Yi would definitely return the Miss Braindead nickname to her. Lingshan felt wronged in her heart. She was such a strong person. How could she not have any temper after being stepped on by Lin Yi? Forget it, she still needed him to solve the case. Lingshan comforted herself. Jianghu looked at Lingshan and Yutian, who suddenly appeared in the ward. His heart was filled with despair. It seemed like the police outside didn't lie to him. The kidney trafficking organization was really done for. Otherwise, Lingshan wouldn't be standing here unscathed. But luckily, Lingshan didn't know that he was the head of the kidney trafficking organization. Otherwise, he wouldn't be lying in the hospital now. Jiangwen, what happened to you? Why did you encounter something like this? Chen Yuqian felt that this was unbelievable. The kidney trafficking organization wouldn't choose a young master like Jiang Wen who drove a sports car when they chose their target, right? Weren't they afraid that things would get out of hand? Chapter 697.
The urge to die, I see.
Yuqian started to sympathize with Jiang Wen. His relationship failed and his kidney was cut off.
One could imagine the pain in his heart. He turned to Lingshan. Did you catch the culprit?
The mastermind, the tattooed guy, has been caught, but the surgeon committed suicide, Lingshan said faintly. I wonder if there's any hidden profit chain behind this criminal organization? The police are investigating further. What Lingshan said was information that could be obtained from the official channels. However, Jiang Wen was lying in the hospital room, so naturally, he didn't know much about these things. When he heard that the tattooed guy had been arrested and that the main surgeon had committed suicide, he felt dizzy. His own kidney trafficking company. The surgeon committed suicide. What was he going to do? He was still hoping that the surgeon could get his kidney back. Now it was all over. Even if he found Zhong Pingliang, he wouldn't be able to find the surgeon to do it. Which hospital would do it for him? He couldn't tell the police, otherwise, the police would ask him how he knew that Zhong Pingliang's kidney was his. Yuqian saw Jiang Wen's unnatural expression and thought that he was reminiscing about the past. He quickly comforted him. Jiang Wen bro, I'm sorry for your loss. Luckily, you only lost one kidney. Your life is not in danger. Think of a way to get a kidney transplant in the future. Jiang Wen could only smile bitterly. It wasn't just because he lost one kidney. He knew where his kidney was, but he couldn't get it back. This was the most painful thing. Plus, his kidney trafficking organization was his blood, sweat, and tears. Jiang Wen, don't worry. The police will give you justice. The criminal has been arrested. We hope that you can testify in court. Ling Shan came as a representative of the police. She didn't like Jiang Wen, but he was still a victim. There were some things she had to say. All right. Jiang Wen's heart was bleeding. He had to testify against his own criminal organization? Was there anyone else like her in the world? But Jiang Wen didn't have a choice. He was afraid that Ling Shan would suspect him, so he could only nod reluctantly. I'll be a witness. Jiang Wen bro, how about this? I'll call little Shu and see if she's with Yao Yao. I'll ask them to come and see you too. Chen Yuqian saw how pitiful Jiang Wen was and felt pity for him. He thought that if Meng Yao came to visit Jiang Wen, maybe Jiang Wen would feel better. Jiang Wen was overjoyed. Chen Yuqian knew him the best.
As expected of one of the 4 young masters of Mount Songshan.
You really are good to me. Meng Yao would sympathize with me if she saw me like this, wouldn't she? At that time, the girl's maternal instincts would come out, and I might even have a chance. Meng Yao may be cold, but she had a kind heart. Jiang Wen knew that. Otherwise, she wouldn't have asked Lin Yi to save him at the amusement park. As a result, Jiang Wen approved of Meng Yao coming to see him, but he was a little wary of Yushu. That girl was a pure troublemaker who loved to see the world in chaos.
He reckoned that she'd probably clap her hands if she saw him in this state, wishing that he'd die.
But what Yushu thought had nothing to do with Jiang Wen. Jiang Wen didn't like Yushu, and he didn't want a girl like her even if she threw herself at him. He wouldn't be able to live if he brought her back home. She might even castrate him in the middle of the night. So Jiang Wen always kept his distance from Yushu. He didn't want to mess with her, but he couldn't offend her either. After all, she was Meng Yao's best friend.
Then I'll have to trouble you.
Yuqian bro, a friend in need is a friend indeed. Jiang Wen was touched. Yuqian cared for him like this even when he was injured. It made him feel good. Yuqian called his sister, Yushu. Yushu had just returned to the ward with Meng Yao. She held Meng Yao's hand and looked at the serious expression on Meng Yao's face. She giggled, Yao Yao sis, what's wrong? Why do you look so unhappy? You should be very happy that you escaped death. You should be very happy that you survived. Look at me, every time I play Super Mario Bros. Wii with you, I'll cheer when I meet a boss and survive. Meng Yao glared at Yushu. How can this be the same as a game? Besides, you're happy that Lin Yi saw you? Oh, but I'm not unhappy. So what if he saw me? I'll marry him in the future. Won't he see me too? When we played 3P together, we saw everything.
Yushu counted with her fingers. It's just a little earlier, so what?
Meng Yao rolled her eyes. She realized that she couldn't communicate with Yushu.
She didn't know if this girl had the concept of chastity in her head. She acted like nothing had happened after Lin Yi saw her. She was living happily every day. Happier than anyone else.
Truly, fortune favors fools. Fools wouldn't think so much about gains and losses.
When did I say I'm marrying him? Meng Yao humphed. No, you and Lin Yi have to keep it a secret, or else I won't be able to get married in the future. Oh, don't worry. Only the three of us will know. We won't let outsiders see or talk about our things.
Yushu nodded. Meng Yao was speechless. She realized that Yushu didn't seem to understand her at all. Or was she purposely not understanding? Meng Yao suddenly realized that her best friend's brain was very strong. When she wanted to understand, her reaction was faster than anyone else's, but when she didn't want to understand, it was useless no matter what you said. Don't talk about this anymore. Meng Yao could only take a step back and warned Yushu. Okay, I won't talk about it anymore. Yushu nodded. Yao sis, what are we going to do now? It's so boring in the hospital. I don't want to stay here anymore. The smell of disinfectant is making me dizzy. Chapter 698. Super good news. Where do you want to go? Meng Yao asked. Why don't we go home and play hide and seek? Yushu suggested. Hide and seek? Are you in heat? Do you want to be sandwiched by the fence again and let Lin Yi touch your boobs? Meng Yao rejected Yushu's suggestion. There was only so much space in the house. It was fine to play hide and seek occasionally, but it was boring to play it often. All right. What do you want to play then? Yushu changed the topic, not even blushing as if Meng Yao wasn't talking about her at all. How would I know? Why don't we go home and play video games? Meng Yao wanted to play games after hearing Yushu talking about video games. Okay. Yushu nodded. She liked to play anything. As they were talking, Yushu's phone rang. Yushu looked at the caller ID and saw that it was her brother. She quickly picked it up. Bro! Shu, where are you? Yuqian's voice came from the other side of the phone. Yao sis and I are at the hospital. Bro, what's up? Yushu said, if you're free, come and play games with us. Yuqian was taken aback when Yushu said that they were in the hospital. He thought that they were sick, but since Yushu said that they were playing games, it was obvious that they were fine. He didn't ask further and said, Jianghu drank last night and fell asleep on the road. One of his kidneys was cut off by the criminals. If you and Yao are free, why don't you come and see him? We're at Songshan's First People's Hospital, 3rd Inpatient Department, room 218. Holy shit! Yushu's eyes widened and she clapped her hands. Yao sis, let me tell you some super good news. Jianghu's kidney was cut off, just like Zhong Pingliang. Your pursuers are so pitiful, all of them had their kidneys cut off. Yuqian was speechless. This girl of his was too fierce. Even if she didn't like Jianghu, she didn't have to cheer like that, right? If Jianghu heard it, wouldn't he be pissed to death? Luckily, he was far away and Jianghu couldn't hear the conversation. Jianghu? His kidney was removed? Meng Yao paused. She didn't look as happy as Yushu, but she didn't look sad, either. Jianghu and her were drifting apart, and they weren't the big brother next door anymore. Meng Yao shook her head. As expected, people couldn't go back to the past when they grew up. Shu, you and Yao should come and take a look, right? No matter what, Jianghu is a friend from the past. We have a good relationship. Yuqian said. Oh, okay. Yao and I don't have anything to do anymore. We can go visit him. It'll be fun. Yushu agreed after some thought. Chen Yuqian didn't know what to say. Fun. Jianghu losing one of his kidneys? Was that fun? However, Chen Yuqian couldn't do anything about this weird sister of his. The old man spoiled her and treated her like the treasure of the family. From a certain angle, his sister was indeed very cute. Yao sis, we have a place to play now. Let's go visit Jianghu in the hospital. His kidney was cut off. It's so fun. Yushu hung up and said to Meng Yao, do you think it was Shield Bro who did it? Lin Yi? Meng Yao was startled. Could it be Lin Yi? Why did Lin Yi cut off Jianghu's kidney? Was it because Jiang Wen wanted to chase her and confess to her during dinner yesterday? It didn't seem possible. Lin Yi didn't even like her. Why would he cut off Jiang Wen's kidney? It might be possible if she ordered him to do it, but she didn't order him to do it. Meng Yao and Yu Shu told Peng Zhan that they were going to visit Jiang Wen in Songshan Songshan First Hospital. Peng Zhan was worried about the two of them going out alone. After all, the coma incident had just ended. Peng Zhan was like a frightened bird. He asked Faubert to send them off. In the car, Yu Shu called Lin Yi. "Shield bro, where are you?" "I'm at Songshan Songshan First Hospital." Lin Yi picked up Yu Shu's call in front of Tang Yun. Since Tang Yun already knew about his relationship with Meng Yao and Yu Shu, there was no need to hide it anymore. "Oh, that's perfect. Yao Yao and I are going to visit Jiang Wen at Songshan Songshan First Hospital. You can come with us," Yu Shu said happily when she heard that Lin Yi was going to Songshan First Hospital. Visit Jiang Wen? Lin Yi was startled. He thought that this kid's kidney was cut off. Didn't that mean that his kidney was given to Zhong Pingliang? Would that be a match? "Yeah, Jiang Wen's kidney was cut off," Yu Shu said happily. "Come and protect us. What if Jiang Wen goes crazy and beats me and Yao Yao sis up?" Lin Yi was speechless. Jiang Wen's kidney was cut off. How would he have the strength to beat people up? Beat them up? However, Lin Yi knew Yu Shu's personality. He said, "Okay, call me when you arrive." "Okay, we'll be there soon. Just wait for us at the entrance of the third hospital," Yu Shu said. After Yu Shu hung up, Lin Yi saw Tang Yun looking at him. He smiled. "Meng Yao and Yu Shu are here. They are going to visit a patient. They asked me to go with them." "Oh, go then. There's nothing else here." Tang Yun wanted to go shopping with Lin Yi after leaving the hospital. The weather was getting hotter and hotter. Tang Yun wanted to buy a pair of shorts. She wanted to go to the night market, but she couldn't do that today. If there's something else, I'll come back later." Lin Yi saw that Tang Yun wanted to say something but stopped. It seemed like she had something to tell him. "Okay, let's see the time," Tang Yun said happily. Lin Yi said goodbye to Mr. Tang and Mrs. Tang before leaving for the third hospital department. He saw Li Fu's Bentley at the bottom of the building, arriving just in time to see Li Fu's car. Meng Yao and Yu Shu got off the car hand in hand. Yu Shu waved at Lin Yi. Miss only glanced at Lin Yi indifferently as a greeting. Lin Yi knew what Miss was thinking. He didn't want to argue with her. He smiled. "You're visiting a patient. Don't you want to bring some gifts?" "Oh, we need to celebrate. I'll go buy some firecrackers." Yu Shu thought for a while and said seriously. Chapter 699. Angered again, "You're right. Let's have a big meal to celebrate later?" Yu Shu nodded, giving up on the idea of buying firecrackers. The three of them entered the first inpatient department and went up to the second floor. When they arrived at the door of room 218, they saw a policeman patrolling nearby. Seeing that the three of them were about to enter the ward, someone immediately stopped them. "May I ask who you are looking for?" Yu Qin came with Ling Shan, so naturally, the police let them pass. But Lin Yi, Meng Yao, and Yu Shu, although they looked harmless, couldn't be taken lightly. "We're here to see Jiang Wen," Lin Yi said. He didn't expect Jiang Wen to be protected by the police. "Jiang Wen is one of the victims we're protecting. May I know your names?" "I'll have to ask for the names of the victims and their superior," the police officer said. "Who's your superior? Ling Shan? Or Lu Wangli?" Lin Yi didn't expect it to be so troublesome to look after Jiang Wen. "You know Captain Song and Captain Lu?" The police officer paused. "Captain Song is inside. Wait a moment. I'll go get her." After hearing that Lin Yi not only knew Lu Wangli, but also Ling Shan, the police officer didn't dare to delay and went into the room after informing Lin Yi. "Captain Song, someone wants to see Jiang Wen, and he knows you," the police officer reported. "Knows me?" Ling Shan paused. "I'll go take a look." Ling Shan saw Lin Yi, Meng Yao, and Yu Shu when she came out of the room. Ling Shan was curious about Lin Yi visiting Jiang Wen. Did Lin Yi know Jiang Wen? Lin Yi. Ling Shan looked at Lin Yi, her expression a little unnatural because Meng Yao and Yu Shu were there too. But she recovered quickly. What was there to be afraid of? They weren't Lin Yi's girlfriends. What did her relationship with Lin Yi have to do with them? Why is Jiang Wen being protected? Lin Yi asked. He's one of the victims of the kidney trafficking organization. We need him to testify, Ling Shan said. Do you know him? Yes, but not close, Lin Yi shrugged, finding it funny. Jiang Wen testifying against his own organization? Although Jiang Wen was the mastermind, all the evidence had been erased. Lin Yi didn't want to waste time talking to Ling Shan. Ling Shan nodded and followed Lin Yi into the room. She looked like a bully, not daring to pass Lin Yi. No one else noticed this detail. Not even Meng Yao and Yushu. Yu Tian, on the other hand, didn't think much about it. He didn't believe that Ling Shan would get bullied at all. Shu Yao Yao. Lin Yi, you're here. Yu Tian said Lin Yi's name unnaturally. He respected Lin Yi very much. He called Lin Yi Instructor Eagle instead of Lin Yi's name. Yushu looked at her brother and then at Ling Shan. Her face fell. She couldn't understand why her brother was so stubborn. Ling Shan obviously didn't like him, and he was still chasing after her. How embarrassing. Ling Shan, this fox, was also a troublemaker. She should be taught a lesson. HM? Yushu's eyes lit up. She had an idea. Jiang Wen was overjoyed to see Meng Yao. Yushu, on the other hand, was automatically ignored by Jiang Wen. But when he saw Lin Yi behind Yushu, his face froze up. Lin Yi knew that he was the head of the kidney trafficking organization. He was going to remove Lin Yi's kidney this morning, but it turned out to be him. However, Lin Yi hated him. Could it be that Lin Yi saved Ling Shan? With that thought, Jiang Wen's hatred for Lin Yi grew even thicker, and so did his fear. He was afraid that Lin Yi would reveal his identity to Ling Shan, and he was angry that Lin Yi ruined his hard work. However, he didn't consider that if he didn't capture Lin Yi and Ling Shan, his kidney trafficking organization wouldn't be destroyed so quickly. Jiang Wen thought about it carefully and let out a breath of relief. So what if Lin Yi told Ling Shan? There was no evidence. The tattooed guy would definitely hold on and wouldn't sell him out. The only person who knew his identity, Dr. Wang, had committed suicide. Who else could prove that he was the head of the kidney trafficking organization? Even if he refused to admit it, Ling Shan wouldn't be able to do anything to him. People from House and weren't easy to bully. He believed that Ling Shan wouldn't dare to do anything to him without evidence. Jiang Wen felt relieved after thinking about this. He pretended to be fake and said, Lin Yi bro, you are here too? You still remember me at this time? I will treat you to a meal when I recover. Jiang Wen had to do this to maintain his image in Meng Yao's heart. Otherwise, Meng Yao would think that he was a narrow-minded person. Oh, Jiang Wen bro, you lost a kidney. Can you still recover? You won't die, right? Yushu didn't wait for Lin Yi to speak and spoke first. Wah! Jiang Wen was stunned. His face turned red from Yushu's words. He cursed in his heart. Motherfucker! Would you die if you lost a kidney? Can't you not piss me off? However, Jiang Wen didn't dare to scold Yushu. He didn't dare to offend House Chen. Plus, Chen Yutian was in the ward. Plus, Yushu was Meng Yao's best friend. If he scolded her, he wouldn't be able to recover. Shu, don't talk nonsense. Losing a kidney will only affect your health. You won't die. Chen Yutian couldn't do anything to his sister. He could only explain to her. Oh, I see. I think so too. Yushu nodded. I heard that a man is not a complete man if he lost a kidney. Jiang Wen bro, your dream of having sex with Yao Yao sis is gone. Plus, you won't be able to have a threesome. Wah! Jiang Wen's face turned purple. He didn't expect Yushu to be so evil. She touched his sore spot. He shouldn't have let her come. Did she really want to embarrass him in front of Meng Yao? Shu, don't talk nonsense. Even if he is a man, I won't have sex with him. Meng Yao frowned. She felt that Yushu was going overboard. It was as if she agreed to have sex with Jiang Wen. Meng Yao's words, however, had a different meaning to them. Jiang Wen felt a chill run down his spine. Even if he was a man? Was he not a man now? Chapter 700. Ling Shan frowned. Ling Shan frowned. Meng Yao, Yushu, please watch your words. Jiang Wen's a victim, and his injuries and emotions aren't stable yet. Please don't provoke him. How did I provoke him? Yushu didn't have a good impression of Ling Shan. I'm just stating the truth. My brother said that losing a kidney will affect his health. Tian smiled bitterly as he lowered his head. On one side was his sister, and on the other side was Ling Shan. Who should he help? Who could he help? How? Ling Shan glared at Tian. What are you standing there for? Go get the doctor.
I'll go right now.
Tian nodded and went to get the doctor. Yushu was about to explode. What was wrong with this brother of hers? He was like a mouse in front of a cat in front of Ling Shan, so careful and careful. Why was he so soft? She was his sister, and he didn't even care about what that fox said. He even went to get the doctor for Ling Shan?
Bro, you can't go.
Yushu stood in front of Tian, staring at him angrily. She insulted your sister. How could you let her bully me like that?
Shoo.
Tian didn't know what to do. Ling Shan wasn't bullying Yushu, was she? She was just being strict with her words. As expected, he's unreliable. Yushu was disappointed to see Tian in a dilemma. Shield Bro was still the best. He would always help her and stand by her side. Yes, she would only be good to Shield Bro in this life. Even her own brother couldn't do it. Lin Yi was surprised by Tian's actions, but from Yushu's reaction, he could guess what was going on. Tian was Ling Shan's pursuer? Someone was pursuing Miss Song? Shoo, I'll go get the doctor. Tian saw the disappointment in his sister's eyes, but there was nothing he could do. Ling Shan was the one who told him to get the doctor, and Jiang Wen was unconscious. He didn't want anything to happen to him.
No.
Yushu disagreed. This wasn't as simple as finding a doctor anymore. This was a battle between Ling Shan and Ling Shan. Yushu really didn't understand. Why was her brother like Ling Shan so much? Her brother was very outstanding, okay? Although he wasn't as good as Shield Bro, he was still the eldest grandson of the Chen family. What kind of girl couldn't he get? Yushu and Ling Shan had always been on good terms since they were young, and that was why Yushu was targeting Ling Shan. Meng Yao couldn't stand it anymore, but she knew Shu's personality. She might look like a fool, but when she was really stubborn, no one could stop her. This was the reason why Shu stayed by her side when she fainted. Meng Yao was very touched. Yushu's words and suggestions sometimes made her feel awkward, like mistresses and threesomes, but Meng Yao knew that Yushu really didn't want to be separated from her. She wanted to be with her forever. Lin Yi didn't expect Yushu and Ling Shan to fight like this, but Tian was indeed a little weak, and Lin Yi couldn't stand it anymore. He said faintly, "No need, Jiang Wen won't die for now." Tian opened his mouth, but he could only bite the bullet and say, "Okay." Lin Yi was the person Tian admired the most, and it was because of Lin Yi that he changed. Otherwise, he would still be a spoiled brat, hanging out with Jiang Wen every day. Ling Shan, on the other hand, looked at Tian, surprised. Lin Yi's words worked this well? Why did Tian agree to it so easily? Ling Shan felt like she had lost face, and Tian didn't listen to her with her strong personality, but when she remembered that it was Lin Yi, she calmed down immediately. She could only blame her bad luck for being bullied by Lin Yi. Would she dare to complain? She didn't at the moment. But today, Tian made Ling Shan look at him in a different light. For the first time he was strong. It was a pity that Ling Shan didn't like him. Changing his personality wouldn't change her feelings. Yushu paused, looking at her brother in disbelief. He didn't even listen to her, but he listened to Shield Bro? Tian, on the other hand, was surprised. Ling Shan didn't insist on going to the doctor anymore? Lin Yi didn't say anything else. He walked to Jiang Wen's bedside and pressed on his head a couple of times. Jiang Wen woke up immediately. Jiang Wen jumped when he saw Lin Yi pressing on his head. Was Lin Yi going to kill him? But then he remembered that Ling Shan and Tian were here. Lin Yi wouldn't dare to kill him. Of course, if only Lin Yi and Yushu were here, Jiang Wen wouldn't feel at ease. That girl would definitely work with Lin Yi to kill him. It was too scary. "Thank you, Brother Lin. My body isn't too good, and I fainted." Jiang Wen thanked Lin Yi. "You're welcome. We're even now," Lin Yi said faintly. Jiang Wen paused, but he understood what Lin Yi meant. Lin Yi was referring to how he knocked him out before, and how he woke him up now. Of course, only Jiang Wen could understand what he was saying. "Oh, Jiang Wen bro, you're awake." Yushu looked at Jiang Wen apologetically. "I'm sorry, I won't talk nonsense again."
Haha, it's fine.
What else could Jiang Wen say? He didn't want to argue with Yushu. He couldn't afford to. His life would be shortened if he did. Oh, let's take a photo with Jiangwen bro. Losing a kidney is something to remember. This is the only time he'll ever lose one in his life. He can't lose one in the future. Yushu clapped her hands and suggested. Jiangwen almost fainted again when he heard Yushu's words. What was so memorable about losing a kidney? Only once in his life? Wasn't that obvious? Wouldn't he die if he lost one more time? But Yushu wasn't as sharp this time, so he couldn't argue back. He could only pretend that he didn't understand what Yushu was trying to say. Plus, he was very willing to take a photo with Meng Yao. Chapter 701. Will be missed. Oh, it's time to take a picture. Yao Yao, come quick. Yushu waved at Meng Yao. Meng Yao didn't want to join in the fun, but seeing how excited Yushu was, she didn't object. She walked over and stood beside Yushu, not standing right next to Jiangwen. This disappointed Jiangwen a little. Bro, you come too. Yushu waved and turned to Lin Yi. Shield bro, stand behind me and Yao Yao to protect us. I'll take the picture for you guys. I'll pass. Lin Yi felt that there was no point in taking pictures with Jiangwen. No, there's only Lingshan sis here. She's the only outsider here. Come quick. Yushu started targeting Lingshan again. Lingshan was about to say, why should I take a picture for you guys? She was a police. She had no obligation to take a family picture for you guys. Plus, so what if she was an outsider? Who would want to be part of your family? But Lingshan didn't get to say anything before Lin Yi spoke up. All right. With that, he walked over and stood behind Yushu and Meng Yao. This put Lingshan in a difficult situation. Lin Yi was already there. Should she take the picture or not? I don't have a camera. Lingshan felt like a punching bag. How embarrassing. Lingshan sis, you have a phone. The resolution is really high. The beach castle you took for me last time was really pretty. Yushu didn't want to let Lingshan go. She wanted Lingshan to lose face in front of her brother. She wanted her brother to see that the arrogant girl he liked was just a punching bag in front of Shield Bro. Lingshan was furious. If it weren't for Lin Yi, she wouldn't have gone to take pictures of that beach castle. Was she an idiot? Oh. It seemed like Lin Yi thought she was an idiot. No obligation. Lingshan said coldly. All right, Lingshan, hurry up and take one. Lin Yi frowned. This Lingshan was too much. There were so many people standing here, and she was still trying to make excuses? Even if she had some conflict with Yushu, he was still standing here. Lingshan froze upon hearing Lin Yi's words. Lin Yi was still standing there. Wouldn't Lin Yi be mad if she didn't film it? She remembered that Lin Yi had called her song Lingshan and not dumb girl, and that made her a little happier. Luckily, Lin Yi had given her face in front of all these people. Otherwise she'd lose all her face if he'd called her dumb girl. All right. Lingshan quickly took out her phone to take a picture, thinking that she'd almost pissed off Lin Yi today because of Yushu. Yushu was very pleased with herself. It seemed that Lingshan was very afraid of Shield Bro. Every time Shield Bro spoke, Lingshan would listen to him. Yutian, on the other hand, was even more surprised. Lingshan didn't say anything when Lin Yi stopped him from going to the doctor, and Yutian thought that Lingshan and Lin Yi didn't know each other well, so she didn't want to refute Lin Yi's words. But now, it seemed like that wasn't the case at all. Lin Yi's words seemed to be very effective on Lingshan. As long as Lin Yi said it, Lingshan would do it. Just what was their relationship? Was it a superior and a subordinate? Otherwise, with Lingshan's personality, when had she ever been so easily bullied? Lingshan took the picture and smiled as she passed the phone to Lin Yi. Lin Yi, what do you think? It's all right. Lin Yi nodded after taking a look. Then little dumb girl. I'll send it to you when I get back. Is it the same as last time? Lingshan didn't pay attention and almost blurted out the words. She realized that she wasn't talking to Lin Yi in private and quickly changed her words. All right. Lin Yi was already used to Lingshan's attitude, so he didn't think anything was wrong. But Yutian was shocked. Lingshan's attitude could only be described as fawning. When had Lingshan ever talked to a man in such a nice and friendly manner? She actually talked to Lin Yi in this tone? Yushu and Meng Yao, on the other hand, didn't think much of it. They knew that Lin Yi was very strong, and Lingshan even asked for help from Lin Yi. Jiangwen, on the other hand, didn't expect Lin Yi and Ling Shan to be this close. If he knew this would happen, he would have let Ling Shan go, and things wouldn't have turned out like this. There was no point in staying here after the photo was taken. Yushu came here to mock Jiang Wen, and it was time to leave now that the fun was over. Yao Yao sis, let's go. We've already taken a souvenir, and we'll miss Jiang Wen bro. Yushu paused on purpose before continuing. About the kidney. Jiang Wen was cursing Yushu in his heart. He wasn't dead yet. How could she miss him? He waited for a long time, and it turned out that she was missing the kidney. He knew that he was tricked by Yushu again. Ling Shan controlled her emotions this time. With Lin Yi around, she decided to behave herself. It wouldn't be fun if Lin Yi got angry. Yu Tian could only smile bitterly at his sister. He couldn't control her. She had been like this since she was young. As for Lin Yi, although Yu Tian had many questions he wanted to ask, he knew that even if he asked, Lin Yi might not answer. Plus, Lin Yi had already said that he was just his sister's follower. His sister's follower? His sister was too amazing. Meng Yao and Yushu said goodbye to Yu Tian and left the room. Lin Yi, on the other hand, nodded to Yu Tian and Ling Shan before leaving the room with Meng Yao and Yushu. As for Jiang Wen, Lin Yi completely ignored him. After leaving the room, Yushu couldn't hold it in anymore and laughed. Ha ha ha, I'm so happy. That fox Ling Shan is completely suppressed by Shield Bro. Let's see if she can still pretend to be arrogant now. Ha 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 ha. Yushu was really happy. She hated Ling Shan ever since she was young. She thought that Ling Shan stole her brother from her. But as she grew older, she realized that it was her brother who pursued Ling Shan, and Ling Shan didn't like her brother. In Yushu's young heart, she thought that her brother was the best boy in the world. Ling Shan was blind to look down on her brother. Chapter 702. Chapter 702. The Miss Inner World Ming Yao looked at Lin Yi faintly, not saying anything. She felt as if there was a barrier between her and Lin Yi, and there was an inexplicable feeling whenever she looked at Lin Yi. We have to have a big feast to celebrate today. Yushu seemed to be really happy. There are 3 big things happening today. First, we have to celebrate Yao Yao's coma. Shu, what did you say? Meng Yao almost fell down from her anger. Celebrate being poisoned? Was there something wrong with this Shu? Was she gloating?
Oh Yao Yao, don't be mad, I'm not done yet.
Yushu waved her hand. Feeling wronged. What I meant was, we have to celebrate Yao Yao's coma. She's bound to be blessed after surviving a disaster. Meng Yao blushed. It seemed like she'd misunderstood Shu. She glared at her. Can't you make it clear? I did. But I was interrupted. Yushu said weakly. You're still talking?
Meng Yao made a move to tear Yushu's mouth apart.
Oh. Don't. I'm the mistress. I don't want to be like this. Yushu cried out.
Then don't be the mistress.
Meng Yao was just trying to scare her. She didn't really want to tear Yushu's mouth off, but she didn't expect Yushu to start talking nonsense again.
I'll be the mistress then,
Yushu said after some thought. Suit yourself. Meng Yao rolled her eyes, not knowing what to say. Then I'll continue. This is the first thing. The second thing is that we have to celebrate Jiang Wen losing a kidney, so that he can't bother Yao Yao anymore. Yushu said. Meng Yao and Jiang Wen were pretty close when they were young, and although they weren't that close anymore, she still felt some sympathy for Jiang Wen losing a kidney. It would be too much to celebrate, and so Meng Yao didn't support Shu's suggestion. The third thing is to embarrass Fox Song. I'm so happy. Yushu said excitedly. So we have to go and celebrate. Meng Yao nodded. Escaping death was something to be thankful for. She looked at Lin Yi and asked faintly, Are you free? Lin Yi was slightly startled. How could the eldest miss speak to him in such a tone? It didn't look like it. In the past, they would always order him to take them out to eat without asking if he was free. Meng Yao's attitude made Lin Yi a little embarrassed. He wanted to go back to Tang Yun after visiting Jiang Wen, but it seemed like he could only accompany the miss for dinner. I originally asked Tang Yun to buy something, but I can cancel it, Lin Yi said.
Let's ask her to come with us then,
Meng Yao said after some hesitation. Ah! Lin Yi froze on the spot and looked at Meng Yao in disbelief. Wasn't the miss and Tang Yun never on good terms? Why was she bringing Tang Yun out to eat today? What did this mean? Why are you looking at me like that? Meng Yao frowned. She felt a little guilty being stared at by Lin Yi. In fact, she didn't like this feeling. Ever since Lin Yi saw her body and she peed on Lin Yi, Meng Yao instinctively felt guilty and shy in front of Lin Yi. She was no longer as arrogant and strong as before. She was the miss, his employer. How could she feel guilty in front of him? So Meng Yao tried to make her tone and attitude as cold as possible to cover up the nervousness in her heart. You want to treat her? Lin Yi asked. Oh, Yao sis finally wants to negotiate with Tang Yun. That's great. Yushu didn't know what Meng Yao was thinking. She cheered according to her own understanding. Negotiate. Lin Yi looked at Yushu. Was the miss going to have a showdown with Tang Yun? Lin Yi had a headache thinking about the scene during lunch. On one side was his employer, and on the other side was his girlfriend. The miss was a prideful person. She must have her face. Shu, what are you talking about? What judgment? Meng Yao glared at her. I just want to thank her. In fact, Meng Yao thought so too. When she was in the hospital, she heard Tang Yun calling Lin Yi. At that moment, she felt that Tang Yun was actually a good girl. She always appeared in front of her as a love rival. When her life was in danger, Tang Yun didn't want her to die and gloat. Instead, she asked Lin Yi to save her. Meng Yao was touched. She was really touched. The miss didn't lack money, but she lacked love. Although Peng Zhan gave her enough fatherly love, he was too busy. No matter how much he loved Meng Yao, the time he could spend with her was limited. For a long time, the miss and Shu depended on each other. This caused the miss to have a cold personality. She would treat others well because she was kind. She didn't say it out loud. When Lin Yi first came, the miss instinctively rejected him. She didn't understand Lin Yi. She didn't know Lin Yi's personality. With Meng Yao's closed personality, it was already the limit for her to accept Lin Yi living in the villa. But, as time went on, Meng Yao realized that Lin Yi was really, really good to her. So good that it was unbelievable. He would risk his life for her and accompany her to be a hostage. Meng Yao remembered this friendship deeply in her heart. But because of her personality, she couldn't say many words of gratitude. At home, Lin Yi often cooked for her and Shu. He took care of her and Shu like a big brother. It made Meng Yao feel warm and comfortable. Since young, no one had ever treated her so well. Meng Yao, who didn't have a mother's love, cherished this kind of relationship. No matter how good Peng Zhan was to her, he couldn't cook for her every day. He couldn't take care of her every day. Even if Faubert came to deliver food every day, he would bring it back from a big restaurant. How could it be the same as cooking for her? And so, as Meng Yao slowly accepted Lin Yi's existence, she started to rely on him in a way that was hard to detect. It was as if Lin Yi was omnipotent, and no matter what happened, he would be able to solve it easily. Chapter 703. Protecting happiness. However, Tang Yun's appearance infuriated the miss. It was as if someone had taken away her most cherished possession. Meng Yao felt that Tang Yun had stolen Lin Yi. How could she just sit back and do nothing? She just had a warm feeling in the house. How could she let someone else take away her happiness? As for all the stuff about how Lin Yi couldn't see that there were pretty girls in the house, and how he went out to flirt with them, it was just an excuse. The real reason was that the miss had been lacking warmth since she was young. Meng Yao was like a safe, purposely hiding her feelings. She didn't want to admit that there was a warm feeling in the house with Lin Yi. This was the softness in the miss heart, and she didn't want others to know. Although sometimes she felt that this Lin Yi was annoying, it felt good to live under the same roof as him. If it was possible, Meng Yao hoped that this kind of life could continue. However, Tang Yun's appearance brought Meng Yao back to reality from her dream. Her dreams were shattered in an instant. Yes, Lin Yi would leave the villa sooner or later and start his own life. He would have a girlfriend, and he would have his own family. But Meng Yao didn't think that this day would come so soon. So she was filled with hostility towards Tang Yun, and wanted to chase her away from Lin Yi. She would never allow Tang Yun to destroy her warm home. She wanted Lin Yi to prepare breakfast for her and Shu every day. She wanted Lin Yi to be the first to appear when she and Shu were in trouble. So that night, when she saw Lin Yi injured, and when she saw Tang Yun, Meng Yao was furious. Why? Lin Yi was a member of the villa. Why would he get injured because of Tang Yun? And so, the first clash between Meng Yao and Tang Yun began. The miss was furious, and without thinking, She declared war on Tang Yun. This declaration led to the second clash in the cafeteria at noon. However, Tang Yun's kindness woke Miss up in an instant. Yes, what did Tang Yun do wrong? Wasn't it Lin Yi who pursued her? How could he blame her? However, Meng Yao really didn't want her to take Lin Yi away from the villa. But after what happened today, after what he'd seen her naked body, and after she'd pissed all over him so awkwardly, could their relationship still be the same? Would he look down on her? Laugh at me? Even if he didn't, how could he face Lin Yi? Annoying. Really annoying. Meng Yao felt like she was going to die from annoyance. She'd never been this annoyed in her entire life. So at this moment, Miss decided that she would treat Tang Yun to a meal to express her gratitude. No matter what, they didn't owe each other anymore. The Miss didn't want to owe anyone anything, especially Tang Yun. How she handled her relationship with Lin Yi was her own business. She didn't want to be held back by Tang Yun because she owed Tang Yun a favor. Miss was a smart person and naturally understood this. Miss's words made Lin Yi a little surprised. However, he still took out his phone and called Tang Yun. No matter what, Lin Yi also wanted to ease the relationship between Miss and Tang Yun. Otherwise, it would be troublesome for him to be stuck in the middle in the future. Lin Yi? Have you settled the things on your side? Tang Yun was very happy after receiving Lin Yi's call. She had been waiting in the ward. She wanted to call Lin Yi to ask if he could come back at night, but she was afraid that it would affect Lin Yi's work and make things difficult for him. So, she didn't call. "And it's done," Lin Yi said. "I just left the inpatient department." "Then, can you come back?" Tang Yun hesitated and asked. "Yao Yao said that she wants to treat you to a meal. Do you want to come?" Lin Yi asked. "Meng Yao? Treat me to a meal?" Tang Yun was slightly stunned. She felt that it was a bit unbelievable. Why would Meng Yao treat her to a meal? "Express your gratitude?" Lin Yi said. Gratitude? Tang Yun understood immediately that Meng Yao was thanking her for calling Lin Yi and asking him to treat Meng Yao's illness. However, Tang Yun was still a little hostile towards the Miss, so she didn't want to go. "I won't go, will I? It's not good, right? You don't want to come? Then forget it." Lin Yi also guessed what Tang Yun was thinking. She must still have some grudges with Mississippi. Meng Yao wanted to take the phone and talk to Tang Yun personally, but she couldn't lower her face. So she gave Yushu a look, wanting her to say it for her. "Yao Yao sis, look, Tang Yun doesn't dare to come, right?" Yushu blinked her eyes and moved closer to Lin Yi's phone. Meng Yao was so angry that she started trembling. This Yushu was really pissing her off. She asked Yushu to invite Tang Yun for her, but she said this kind of thing? Wasn't this continuing to be Tang Yun's enemy? Tang Yun heard Yushu's words and panicked. "Who said I don't dare to come? I'll go now." Needless to say, Yushu's provocation worked. No matter what, Tang Yun had already made her decision. "Let's meet at the parking lot in front of the hospital," Lin Yi said. "Okay, I'll go now." Tang Yun didn't want Yushu to look down on her, as if she was afraid of them. After hanging up, Yushu cheered before Lin Yi could say anything. "Yao Yao sis, I'm amazing, right? I tricked Tang Yun to come with just one sentence." You tricked her to come, but I wanted to thank you. How can I thank you like this?" Meng Yao shook her head helplessly. "You can thank me when she comes. I just tricked her to come," Yushu said innocently. Meng Yao didn't want to argue with Yushu. It would only make her headache worse. She turned to Lin Yi. "Did you drive a car?" "Shu's beetle can barely fit 4 people, Lin Yi said. "Oh, I'll sit in the back with Shu," Meng Yao nodded. "Next time drive the S5. Lin Yi nodded. He didn't dare to touch the Miss car before, but now it seemed that the Miss didn't care about this kind of thing at all. "I want to sit in the front. I can point the way for Shield Bro. I know a super cool Western restaurant." Yushu didn't want to sit in the back. It was unknown if she did it on purpose, but Meng Yao and Tang Yun sat together. "You can also point the way from the back," Meng Yao said. "I'm nearsighted, I can't see the back clearly," Yushu shook her head. Chapter 704. Chapter 704. Jealous. "Oh, I'm fine now, I can see clearly again." Yushu waved her hands. Meng Yao glared at her. She'd been glaring at Yushu all day long, and her own eyes were starting to hurt. Lin Yi had long since gotten used to Meng Yao and Yushu's bickering. The two had always been like this, bickering, but their relationship was frighteningly good. Meng Yao pulled Yushu to the back seat. The beetle wasn't big, but it was more than enough to fit two petite girls. Yushu was a little uncomfortable. "Ah, it's so cramped, I want to sit in the front." "Your boobs are too big, so it's cramped. Just cut them off," Meng Yao said, a little pissed off. Lin Yi wasn't in the car at the moment, leaning against the driver's door, waiting for Tang Yin. Meng Yao dared to say something like that, but Lin Yi's hearing was better than a normal person's, and he heard everything clearly. "Yao Yao, you're jealous of me." Yushu covered her boobs as she looked at Meng Yao cautiously. "Who cares? There's a lot of people with big boobs. It's not that rare anymore." Meng Yao curled her lips. "That's true, the main wife and the second wife have their own specialties. It's not good to have the same, it's not attractive." Yushu nodded in agreement. Meng Yao didn't know how to respond to Yushu's words, so she kept quiet. Soon, Tang Yin walked out of the first ward, and ran over to Lin Yi as soon as she saw him. Through the car window, Lin Yi could see that Tang Yin's body was well proportioned. Her boobs weren't too big, but they weren't too small either. Her legs were straight and long, and her height wasn't any lower than Meng Yao's. Her ponytail swayed in the car park under the light of the setting sun, giving off an indescribable feeling of youth. Meng Yao had to admit that Tang Yin was perfect, a typical pretty girl. It made her a little jealous. "There's two of us, we won't lose to her," Yushu said, seeing Tang Yin's unwillingness to lose. Meng Yao was speechless. Was this a human wave tactic? A three-team tactic? Wouldn't it be embarrassing even if they won? Besides, when was she going to marry Lin Yi? She just felt that he took good care of her. Tang Yun paused when she saw the beetle behind Lin Yi. She had been in this car before, but it wasn't Lin Yi's car. It should be Meng Yao or Yushu's. "Did you wait for a long time? I'm sorry." Tang Yun fixed the bangs in front of her forehead and apologized. She couldn't lose her composure in front of Meng Yao, otherwise she wouldn't have said that. "It's fine, get in." Lin Yi opened the door for Tang Yun. Tang Yun saw Meng Yao and Yushu sitting at the back and felt a little embarrassed. "I don't think it's appropriate for me to sit at the front." "Oh, that's great. I want to sit in the front. Let's swap seats?" Yushu was happy to see that Tang Yun was still unwilling to sit in front. "Shoo, shut up." Meng Yao covered Yushu's mouth and glared at her before turning to Tang Yun. "You're the guest, of course you should sit in the front." In fact, Meng Yao thought the same. The car was small, and it wasn't appropriate for Tang Yun to sit in the back. Tang Yun was a little embarrassed when she heard that Yushu wanted to sit in the front, but it wasn't appropriate for her to sit next to the Mississippi. She was in a dilemma. "Tang Yun, don't listen to Shu's nonsense. She's always like that, talking nonsense every day. You'll get to know her after spending some time with her." Meng Yao felt a little embarrassed when she saw that Tang Yun was in a dilemma. She did treat them to a meal to thank them, not to declare war. It was hard to say what would happen in the future, but she had to be more sincere today. "Haha, okay." Tang Yun smiled, but in her heart, she thought, how could they interact more in the future? The luxurious life that Meng Yao and Yushu lived was too far away from her. She still didn't have a place to buy her own house. Tang Yun got in the car, and Lin Yi followed. He started the car and asked, "What do we want to eat?" "Where to?" "Listen to me, I know a super cool Western restaurant," Yushu said. Lin Yi saw that Meng Yao didn't object, so he nodded. "Okay. Turn left in front. Then turn right again. Go to the high road, go to the upper bridge in the middle. Then go to the lower bridge on the right. Then." Yushu started to give directions. It was more efficient than a navigation system. Lin Yi followed Yushu's directions and stopped the car in front of a restaurant called Super Cool Couple Western Restaurant. Lin Yi was speechless. The name of this restaurant was as shocking as the Awesome Floating Cloud Bar. Were these two chain restaurants? Meng Yao looked at the big signboard and didn't know what to say. It was indeed super cool. But, was this a couple restaurant? Didn't that mean that only couples would come here? What was with the four of them coming here? Wasn't this combination a little weird? "Shu, is this a couple restaurant? Should we go somewhere else?" Meng Yao frowned when she saw that all the people coming in and out of the restaurant were couples. "We're already here, Why don't we go somewhere else? I'm starving. Yushu shook her head and urged. Meng Yao had no choice but to let Lin Yi park the car and get out. The doorman who parked the car at the entrance of the Western restaurant thought it was a couple getting off the beetle, but he didn't expect 4 people to get off. He suddenly felt a little strange. Excuse me, are you all here to eat? Of course, why would we park the car here if we're not here to eat? It's not fun here. Yushu thought that the valet was an idiot, asking stupid questions. Oh, please come in. The valet shook his head. It couldn't be 2 couples, could it? Was one of them a lesbian? He thought evilly as he invited Lin Yi's group into the restaurant. A waiter came to serve them. Good evening. The manager walked over and greeted politely. Give me a private room. Yushu looked at the layout curiously. She had read about this restaurant on the internet before. It was said that this was a heaven for lovers. Yushu wanted to see it, but she didn't have any lovers. She heard that this place didn't accept couples, so she gave up on the idea. But today was her chance. 1 room. The lobby manager was slightly startled. 1 room for the 4 of you? Yeah. Yushu nodded. Chapter 705. We are a couple. Yes. Give us a couple's room. Yushu said. I'm sorry, the 4 of you can only get 2 private rooms. 1 private room is not allowed. The lobby manager was a little impatient. Are these people looking for trouble? Couples' rooms and seats were charged by the hour. Wouldn't it be a loss for the restaurant to have 4 people in a room? Who said we aren't a couple? Yushu wasn't willing. We are a couple. Huh. 4 people? All of them are couples? The manager didn't believe Yushu's words. He was certain that these 4 were here to cause trouble. But they must be blind to mess around in Lei Bro's place. Were they tired of living? Yeah, I'm Shield Bro's second wife. Yao Yao Sis is Shield Bro's first wife. She's Shield Bro's girlfriend. Why can't we go to the same room? Yushu explained impatiently. Hey Baldy, why are you wasting time? We're here to spend money. Why are you being so nosy? The manager heard Yushu's words and felt disdainful. Wasn't this bull**tea? First wife, second wife, and a girlfriend? Did she think he was an idiot? Plus, this girl dared to call him Baldy? He was a bald man, okay? It was very popular in the underworld. Spending money? I think you're here to mess around? The manager's attitude turned cold. Let me give you a piece of advice. If you know what's good for you, leave. I don't care who sent you here. Tell him that Lei Bro's territory is not a place for others to mess around. Is there something wrong with you? What Lei Bro, Rain Bro, Lightning Bro? We're here to eat. Yushu thought that there must be something wrong with this Baldy's brain. The lobby manager sneered and said faintly, Our private room can only accommodate 2 people. If you're here to eat, I welcome you. Get 2 rooms. Shh. Meng Yao frowned. She was a miss, a high and mighty existence. When had she ever been looked down upon like this? Especially today, they were here to invite Tang Yun. If they left just like that, what face would they have left? The problem was, if this restaurant really had such a rule, then so be it. Meng Yao saw 3 people enter a room with her own eyes. She stopped Shu and told the manager, I saw 3 people enter a room just now. Did I see it wrong? It's in that box. With that, Meng Yao pointed at room 101, which wasn't far behind the manager. The manager laughed at Meng Yao's words. So you're here to cause trouble. Brother Lei, someone is fucking here. The 4 of them insisted on a private room. The person in room 101 was the owner of this dazzling couple restaurant, Brother Lei. He had indeed brought 2 girls into room 101 because he was preparing to have 3 batches. He was the boss here. Naturally, he could do whatever he wanted. Brother Lei had just entered the private room and was ready to fight when he heard the manager's shout. He immediately frowned, pushed open the door of the private room and walked out. He said arrogantly, What's going on? Fuck. Who's fucking at this time? Do they want to die? Lin Yi understood what was going on from the sidelines. So this Lei Bro from room 101 was the owner of this Western restaurant. Meng Yao's example was useless. He was the boss, so it didn't matter how many people he brought. However, the restaurant's rule was that only couples could enter a room.
This was one of the ways the restaurant made money. Otherwise, the restaurant wouldn't be able to make so much money if a large group of people went to a room. The interior design of this restaurant was very high-end. They were relying on the room fees to make money. Usually, couples would go to a room, eat and drink red wine. In this romantic environment, it was inevitable that they would think about sex after they were full and do something they loved to do. This way, unless it was a quick shooter, it would take a long time. Naturally, they would earn money from the room fees. But if a large group of people went to a room, what else could happen? If they left after eating, how would the restaurant make money? The prices of the dishes here were basically mediocre and not profitable. What they relied on were some attractive decorations and atmosphere. Lin Yi knew these things just by looking at the price list at the door. So it was reasonable that the manager wasn't willing. Lin Yi couldn't be bothered with this. Although this restaurant's operation was a bit unorthodox, they were willing to operate it this way. The Industry and Commerce Bureau didn't find trouble with them. Naturally, Lin Yi wouldn't poke his nose into other people's business. Yao Yao Shu, let's go. Since this restaurant doesn't work, let's go to another one. Lin Yi didn't want to waste his breath here. He knew that Meng Yao was afraid of losing face, so he took the initiative to leave. Meng Yao heard Lin Yi's words and didn't insist anymore. After all, Lin Yi was the one who suggested leaving first. She didn't have to lose face. She nodded and said, "All right, let's go to another one." Seriously, you're crazy to not do business when there's a chance. Yushu wanted to see the room. She heard that there were sex toys for couples. Yushu was very curious, but it seemed like she couldn't do it today. Lei Bro was originally unhappy that he was interrupted when he was about to play with women. But when he saw Meng Yao, Yushu and Tang Yun, his eyes almost popped out. No way. They were the best, and there were 3 of them at once. Brother Lei had played with quite a number of women. He ran a Western restaurant and made a lot of money every day. Moreover, he had a cousin who was doing well, so he was rich and arrogant. Naturally, he threatened and tricked pretty girls and got his hands on quite a number of them. But Lei Bro hadn't played with the 3 in front of him before. He had seen pretty girls like these 3, but they were all experienced men. They didn't look innocent at all. Lei Bro didn't have a good time playing with them. But the girls in front of him looked very innocent. They might even be virgins. Lei Bro wouldn't let them slip away in front of him. What's their background? Lei Bro whispered to Ma Bailin. 4 of them. They came in a beetle. The man is driving, Ma Bailin replied in a low voice.